got to give in this circle.
Yeah, not
Check,
all these
check,
teams
mic
or
check.
players are going to be able to
Mic
occupy
check,
all that
1, 2, 3.
space. Argentina, from their high ground, dictating as many rotations as they can away from them as quickly as they possibly can to make sure that they don't get crashed. Meanwhile, you can see
Check,
the
check,
UK
mic
here with
check.
a pretty wide but
Mic
very
check,
nice
1, 2,
spread
3.
on the east side, and this is actually a lot of control just below Chumasera.
Yeah, and you can see now that they're looking towards Korea. Algin bots as Philippines and Paul Cappy. No!
Oh my
No,
goodness!
no. Right, I want to see his POV in this one because this is just cruel as Algin bots picks up. And Cappy, he knows he's dead there. He knows the second that car starts flipping, there's nothing he can do.
Oh my goodness, just the absolute just state of Poland right now and what they're having to deal with. You can see Masters now, the last one alive with nowhere to go, stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Surely he's not long for this world.
Poland were driving north. Were they going for Marseille's blue tag?
I think they were trying. Yep, I think they wanted those chips.
And Philippines know it. Remember what I said from the VOD review?
You're not wrong. You called it.
They stayed in that position because they knew this was going to happen. Poland have been eliminated now. Marseille was saying things couldn't get worse. Well, 1 point after 2 games, they'll definitely need to turn things around. But Philippines, again, just so good at winning fights. Now, their biggest problem's been third parties. Like, they find themselves on the wrong side. But look at the pocket of space now that they're rotating into.
Yeah, they have a lot of space to work with on the west side. Now, again, they are going to have to, at some point, cross that ravine or valley. But for the time being, they're in a good position to at least scout ahead and see what they want to do. They actually might run into one of the members of Germany. Breaks is actually moved. Oh, no, he's flying.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He's just going right,
That's
telling
right.
the team, you know, we got players here.
Yep.
This compound's free. You could have a team rotating from this section of the map. This is just Ascend 101, right? This is what the players in this team do. He's going to seat swap from time to time, maybe put some pressure onto some teams below and catch out their rotate. But I'm looking at Zerath. He's creeping up the hill to Vietnam, which is usually, you know, usually it's Delwyn that is creeping up the hill to somebody else. But Cal from the Philippines, he spots out Thailand. And I think that maybe, just me, this is the section of the map, right? Kiss can pull in here. Think about what his next step is. He's done them. Look, he's done them. 2 players from Philippines got off on foot, expecting him to go around that side. And he's 180, and he's going to go way back up to the rest of the team to the north.
Yeah, the rest of his team not close enough, though, unfortunately, to get anything off this. Maybe find a knock or two. But again, the way that Jersey just took so much space because of the information that they have is just fantastic. Mike is going to find Solo Z, but the trade will come from Himas.
That knock is so big for Vietnam.
Mic check, mic check.
He's going to join the rest of the team, but watch for Denmark cresting the hill directly towards where that Brazil split is being held.
And we also have 2 pickups actually coming in. It's going to be Australia and China that we're able to find pickups, so they'll be flying into the circle, I would imagine, somewhere in the southeast of Chumasera.
Kita sekarang lagi ada match ke-8 atau match kedua hari ini ya. Seru banget, Cuk. Tadi match keduanya match pertamanya kita peringkat 5, 4 kill lumayan lah. Tapi kayaknya feedbacknya parah ya. Bentar. Sepertinya feedbacknya parah banget. Parah, separah itu nggak sih? Sepertinya feedbacknya parah banget. Parah, separah itu nggak sih? Sepertinya feedbacknya parah banget. Oke, ayo sebentar. Kita kecilkan segini. Coba ya. Kita kecilin segini. Cek, mic check.
Taipei, they're up to 2 kills now, and Simoy too far away to do anything. And Chinese Taipei pick up another couple of kills on the edge of the circle as Vietnam extend their way to the northern side of the circle.
And they're just sending it dead center. They
Ah,
found
tinggal
the
satu
gap
tapi Indo.
between USA
Anjir.
split, and they're actually gonna make it just to the warehouse right next to Norway, which is prime real estate right now. So what a crazy
Tinggal
good
satu
rotation from
Indonya.
Vietnam. And there was no way for them to really know what's going on over there. You can see they're still trying to find position as we now see Zerath is
Tinggal
gonna
ada
get
siapa itu?
tangled with the Philippines. The trade goes back and forth.
Yeah, Philippines just flexing again, but Germany managed
Filipina
to
juga
find that trade
jago
as
sih.
I think Brazil stole that
10
kill
trip
away.
gila.
Looking over this distance, Mikael will look to pick up Algin bots. I think a 10 trip will fall. Yeah, and Korea get that circle shift.
Kayaknya
once more.
pulang cepet
And
sih
there's a
ini
lot of
sih.
teams in brilliant compounds, but the problem is
Game
there's
keduanya.
so many teams alive on the edge of the circle that they're going to get so much pressure coming their way.
Tapi
Look at
kalau-
Brazil, look at UK and China, all these teams are in heavy traffic sections of the circle, and normally you don't get into situations like this.
Kalau game kayak gini di PUBG nih, aduh, susah banget ya faktornya tuh. Ada circle-nya, ada positioning-nya. Ya meskipun it's part of the strategy ya, tapi paling penting tuh kayaknya strategi rotasi sih berarti emang.
Yeah, that's a great shot from Kurt. It's not a knock, but the shot puts the UK back into cover. It takes the attention
Tadi
away
tinggal
from
siapa?
Halo,
Tinggal Teddy
and it
apa?
allows you to pick 'em up and get it. Like, you don't always need to get a knock or a kill to buy your team a massive favor. As CJ is now moving up towards Germany, the nade's going to get thrown, but sparking
jatuh.
from Brazil with a great off angle.
Filipin juga kejepit nih tapi.
Chinese Taipei, Leo again, and it's
Anjir.
Elwin this time.
Terus kayak tiap ada peperangan langsung ada yang third party cepet banget gitu. Fuck. Cepet banget. Cepet banget anjir.
So much better from Chinese Taipei, especially from an entertainment factor as Seoul will tag Tanvu as Vietnam now really struggling inside of this circle. Mao Rush will get his kill confirmed, but we have, Korea, USA, Vietnam, UK all not too far away as Monte with a big nade as they look to
Udah kalau gini mainnya kalem, coba rest dulu ya kan. Jangan berantem dulu sampai berempat lagi, dah gitu ya lah.
Brazil with only 3 members left. You can see Australia playing for trades on the right side of this compound, and Brazil have retreated.
Yeah, 3 players up with no real opportunity to get back to a 4. And Australia, led by Tig, who is
Susah banget tapi.
will look to secure this compound. On the other side of the circle, James gets a great knock onto Savior as Poston just smokes his way back towards Sparking. And look at Calves from Philippines, last player standing, but realizing that might be able to pick up a point. Maybe this is the best way with 15 teams alive for the Philippines to maximize their point tally here.
And that's what you just said is the crazy part. 15 teams still
Nah
alive.
kan baru turun, dia baru masuk circle.
And you could just see how bunched they are. Everyone is just clumped on these edges. It's so
Tapi
difficult
anjing
to
itu
play
penuh
this
banget sih
game.
siang itu. Shit.
That's why everyone is just vying for what control there is on the edge.
X left, wrapping around. Thailand looking to take the ground. As we also see Thailand is firing towards Rossiter Jr. as he makes his way inside the circle. Korea with another big shift as Philippines will get eliminated. Santa
Oh tapi berhasil turun,
able to spot
oke.
their points, but now all these teams on the south need to work their way in. I love this clip, this scene. You've got UK, Vietnam, USA, Argentina, and Korea all in that one frame, and none of them can
Aduh
really
itu
do
tapi
anything
Cimoynya
about any of the
masih
other teams
knock
because of that.
anjir di luar
And
lagi.
this is the other thing. Vietnam, whenever they do lose a member too, they're able to find these just really awkward spots, like right below UK that's on a road.
Anjir,
that's
terus
on the
high
face of
ground
the
kayak
cliff
gini
that just
sangat
can't be shot
sangat
by
menentukan
Rush.
sih.
So good at salvaging the games, finding spots where they can be protected by
Sangat
their team.
krusial high ground ini.
Got that kill, but now Brazil sparking is going to fall. As Australia looking really good in this fight with Brazil. Look, will drop down to 47 HP now. Stand up on top of the roof, will tag flood, but only 18 damage is there to be found.
Vietnam OP
On the
parah
other
sih,
side of the
Vietnam,
circle,
anjir.
Petter from Denmark.
Tapi kita udah 1 kill lumayan itu.
Fall at the hands of Beck.
Oh tapi turun ke peringkat 9 lagi. Tadi udah peringkat 8 padahal.
Another point from Team UK, currently sat in 13th place.
Tapi udah di atas Filipin. Filipin
Coordinated and cleaned this
Lagi zong banget 2 game ini.
Didn't see this at all yesterday.
Pulang awal terus.
We did not. And the problem though for this is it's taking too long to get rid of this last member of Brazil. You can see Dofi from Denmark. In fact, Denmark's position is fantastic the way they play this edge.
Yang menjen Australia kayaknya ya. Ada
But finally Australia
TLGGN itu.
which means they can start to make their trek up towards the circle.
Yeah, and the next shift that it's gonna be
Tadi ada yang ngomong aimbotnya dimatiin anjing.
Germany pushing up now towards Korea as Seoul gets within throwable distance and he's been so good.
Lah, Thailand juga pulang. Nice banget. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Itu Teddy bro. Teddy bro, King Indo, let's go. Anjing. Trick, let's go. Mampus. Mampus Norway. Mampus Norway. Mati, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Kita eliminate Norway. Oke. King Indo memasak, Bung. Langsung naik peringkat 7. Let's go. Anjing jago parah. Anjing itu tadi si Teddy nge-pushnya sedap banget anjir.
The big issue as well, you can see why there's so much space in between. It's so open. There's not much cover there. And more importantly, the UK actually have devastating sight lines, and what a circle for them as this shift will favor their ridgeline. And you can see the amount of control that they have.
This is a really good opportunity for Team UK to kickstart their grand finals weekend. Australia, 4 kills on the board for them. On the south side of the circle, they seem to have a pretty good idea that Denmark are not too far away. I think Germany's natural push is in towards Korea, but it's really hard, especially
Cheer King Indo, cuk.
You can see that Pickett's got a bunch of nades that he can use, but he's just crawling. Korea.
Kapan ya Valorant bisa begini ya Indo ya?
And what I will say is Salute has been phenomenal for Korea. His sprays, I mean, we saw with the barrel, he was just deleting people in that last game. See if he can actually get something more.
Tapi UK 8 kill tuh jago juga sih merangkak dari bawah. Yang dari kemarin ngelawak tuh Norway anjir. Tragedi C4 terus dari kemarin anjir. Oke, US lawan Argentina. Tapi US masih di atas. Argentina juga langsung kedorong gara-gara tadi chicken. Anjing. Tapi Cina Thailand udah eliminated sih. Oke sih ini. Duh, tadi kena lagi. Aduh. Fuck. Nice try. Kill 6 tapi placement yang jelek. Tapi at least berhasil nge-wipe out Norway tadi sih. Korea nih juga OP anjir. Tapi yang aneh nih, ini di Grand Final udah nggak ada India ya. Dari tadi ada orang yang India on top anjing. Padahal even timnya nggak ada di sini. Malaysia juga. Indonesia noob, Malaysia number 1 anjing. Malaysianya aja nggak ada di sini. Anjing. bisa granat pada akurat-akurat gitu ya, anjir. Aneh banget.
Unfortunately, it's just USA trying to fight back. If they can get on that road, they do have some sort of a reprieve of cover. You can see the nades that Keychron was trying to throw, trying to get rid of Argentina, but he just can't. He can't move out because the pressure from up top is too great. Yeah, no, Shrimsy's going to go for that.
Ini circle high ground sih.
Again, pushing this way as well. Tanvu still alive for Vietnam, but look at Denmark wrapping up towards T-Bone.
Yeah, Denmark with an opportunity here to backstab the current game dominators, and that is the UK up top of this hill. They did open this up with a knock, so
UK kill 13 anjir.
for the teams below them to maybe get up, to maybe start to move up that road. You can see Korea now, the duo of Seoul and Reigning, holding out what's remaining of Australia.
The momentum is just swinging back and forward as Australia move towards Korea now. You can see that Luke 12's got an angle. Gustav though holds back. Take, you're in a really dangerous spot now as Tanvu.
Anjing, nice banget. Vietnam nice banget, anjir. Gila. Gila Korea, Vietnam. Beneran ngincer Korea sih kayaknya sih. Gila. Bisa tahu ada orang lagi di situ. Gila. Tinggal sendiri loh dia. Gila. Gila nih orang. Tinggal sendiri loh, cuk. Fuck. Top 4 lagi. Konsisten banget sih mainnya. Anjir, circle-nya di atas gini gak enak banget.
Send himself off into the sunset, feeling good about the work he's done in this game, but it's not done as far as work. The UK now fighting, looking on the other side of the barrels here of Denmark.
I love this from Denmark. They're just sprinting at them, going for a Ketter with another one. Beamy wipes out Fex, and UK 14 kills. Of course he does. Yeah.
Dapat anjing. Anjing. Ini kalau bisa menang nih 1 lawan 4. Wah, tapi susah sih. Gila Vietnam. Anjing, tetap juara 2 loh. Fuck. Anjing. Keren banget. Parah.
the start just because of how little space there was to play. We saw the Philippines and Poland once again, shocker to absolutely nobody. And it was just, yeah, it was wild. And then Norway, they pushed in, they tried to get rid of Indonesia, but Teddy is just a demon in the server.
Yeah, gotta give a lot of credit to Team UK as well for the decision to take those hills by Chima. You know, they were on their point tally.
Tapi tadi oke sih nge-pushnya. Circle-nya nggak enak banget sih. Mereka masih kejebak di bawah, bro. Anjing nih Vietnam ini.
Denmark's push was picture perfect. They picked their spot and they absolutely executed flawlessly.
Look at this. That's great. That was sick as well. You got to maximize your points too, and it was worth the risk. You know, for Bimi, it's like we're going to win this game. Let's try get that one extra point because we know he's going to deny.
Kemarin sehari aja 6 game mereka chicken 2 kali, bro, back to back. Sisanya 4 besar terus kayaknya. Gila sih.
Obviously UK with those 14 kills and a bunch of points as well has them top of the overall point tally from that game. Good game from Australia as well, only 5 kills. They had a great wipe of Brazil. However, just tan-booed all over them and didn't really give them much to do. And Vietnam, like, the best teams always find a way. Yeah. And with 2 players left after they got pushed by Chinese Taipei, nobody would have seen them get that amount of points.
We saw the same thing in the last game when they were able to get to that shack that we saw C4 by DraftKings. I mean, the fact that they got in that position in the first place was kind of crazy, right? So they just refuse to die, but another man that refuses to die is our man of the match. It is going to be Bini, the flying Og, I believe it was, to get that kill. 642 damage. Again, Denmark just had so much control of the southeast, and they made damn sure that no one else was going to be able to encroach on that position.
And they made no mistakes. Like,
they really did.
You saw them think about pushing some fights, and they didn't. They fell back. They were like, does this fight help us win the game? No. Play on. Here's our match leaderboard, though. UK, they picked up 19 points, 17 for Denmark, 13 for Vietnam, and Korea once more only 4 points.
Yeah, Korea did not. I mean, they had a somewhat tough road. They got the few.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded Diac 2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Dominate with speed. Octopus HK HE. Scanning every key at the speed of light. Customize every key and setting to build a perfect keyboard for your play. Superior keystroke feel. Experience speed like never before. Octopus 8K HE. Asra.
Nations Cup 2025. What a wild 2 games it's already been, Gibson.
It has been crazy, particularly if you are a Vietnam fan. But it's pretty much the trend that we had yesterday. Vietnam continuing to extend that gap for the first 2 games today. However, this is where things at the start of the slowdown for them. And more importantly, this is the final game of the first half of the whole weekend. Once this map is done, it is essentially the second half.
Yeah, and we are heading now into Taego. Taego was just a barn burner yesterday. Again, I expect it to slow down today, especially with what we've seen with the beginning stages of Miramar today. I imagine Taego would be no different, and probably the same for Rondo and Arango as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. I know for a lot of the teams, though, I hope it's going to be, that basketball would have thought they had us in the first half. I'm not going to lie. You really got to go and try to bring your A game for the rest of this event. But Taego is a map that we saw some crazy. This is essentially, I believe, where we saw the start of the Australia, UK, Brazil madness.
Yeah,
I want
terminal, yeah.
exactly. I really hope that doesn't happen because I want all 3 of these teams to show us the very best foot forward. They need to try to avoid each other. And a flight path like this, it's another player-friendly one because it means everybody can essentially get to their drop spot. However, we saw the Palace hot drop between USA and the Philippines yesterday with Thailand backfilling in third party.
Okay, let's fucking go. Ini apa? Taego.
It looks like Thailand are off early, but
Taego sih Korea ya.
are going to run it back.
I wonder if it's worth it to the USA. That's the thing, right? We did see that fight initially in Palace. It didn't really work out. It looks like USA have already out the plane, and so I'm not convinced. No.
Yeah, USA, they're going to go towards a little bit further towards the other side. And I think had USA been on 60, 70 points,
They probably would have gone to Palace.
they
Yeah.
go for that hot
Yeah.
drop. But they're thinking to themselves, it's not in our best interest to go ahead and try to continue that. We're not going to cut off our own nose despite our face, right?
Right.
As Brazil will drop nearby Norway. Norway will pick up some of the hard spawn vehicles. You'll see Brazil try to get a knock or 2 of those players as they leave. Well, at this point, all teams are off the plane. UK
Oke, kita di mana? Dari selatan
drop up towards the south.
menuju ke tengah ya.
As you can see,
Oke.
Norway wants absolutely nothing to do with Brazil. They just want to steal their vehicles, and this circle is going to be fairly even for most of the teams involved.
Yeah, and a lot of people would look at this, right, and say, oh, this is bad for UK, they're the furthest team away. In fact, it's not. They can rotate all the way down the eastern side of the circle and come in around Ohyang, or even if you want to go further south towards Hospital. So even though the UK don't have the zone, it's a really good circle for them, and they should be guaranteed a 100% safe rotate into the circle. Don't be surprised to see Germany maybe follow the same track and go all the way around that east, because as of right now, you know for sure it's going to be safe. And look how quickly USA have made a move to get into the circle on that
Yeah.
side as well.
Love that from USA, and I completely agree. Your assessment of the East is going to be, again, most likely what the UK as well as Germany is going to take. Also just based on the play path, right? Not a lot of teams are able to stretch that far. None of the teams really do stretch that far to lead anyways. And so that area around Okyang, I again imagine, is going to be where a lot of these teams end up coming in from, or just the south itself.
Yeah, other things to keep an eye on. Obviously, we had Brazil, UK, and Australia get into lockdown. Marseille's caught out, maybe potentially by intent. This is a 1 versus 1. Marseille with the M249. Having a look at the map, the rest of Poland are now on their way here. Pufax, Masters, and Cappy.
Langsung ketemu nih.
Really for Norway?
Norway,
you
Poland.
need to get that knock quick. You didn't want to give the rest of the team chance to get here, and you can see Norway are trying to back off now. He's looking to get this vehicle. He wants to get the dodge or reinforcements get here.
Well, Sparking is going to try to get rid of 8C,
Di third party sama Brazil tapi.
One of the tires is out. Hold on a second. Is he going to spin? It might be safety for him, and it looks like he will get away. Something else that I noticed that I'm very actually happy about is that the Poland has not run into the Philippines.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. There's still a chance. Wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being Indonesia they bump into their other colleagues, but Intent has stayed here.
Oh, 8C.
Cheer spraynya gila sih.
Hemon gets knocked by Sparking as the South American, the LATAM teams are dealing with him. Little Ghost actually stealing that kill away as China get the first kill, but
Down.
will find 8C.
Norway langsung fuck up gitu.
Survival series, it's just not the way they would want in the grand final.
Hmm.
No, not at all. As Cappy is gonna find intense, and so Norway is just getting picked apart, but not only the two South American teams, but also by Poland. See James just quietly
Norway ini emang badut sih kayaknya.
Yeah, he's just
Kemarin C4 gagal 2 kali anjir.
Maybe try get those blue chips back and bring his teammates back into play. China, they're going to rotate not too far away from sparking, but Xiao Wu will just keep the terrain in his favor.
He's fine. It'll flip. Nope, I lied.
It did flip. It just didn't flip back.
It just didn't flip back. Yeah, and something actually I was just thinking about as we were both talking about Norway and Norway and James getting his team members up. I agreed with you until I just realized where their chips actually are. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
That's a fair point. I think one of them are out in the open, one of them's in a compound that Poland are going to hold, and realistically, it would take an extreme shift for that Poland compound to not be in the next zone. So that's a fair point.
This might just be a James show.
Yeah, he's done it before.
He has.
Argentina, though, look how close they've gotten to Vietnam. And Hemas usually doesn't miss those, so that's really good for Argentina. But Rival's not out of safety just yet.
And man, what heroes Argentina would be to this lobby if they can get rid of Vietnam quickly here. Or not even really quickly, just get rid of Vietnam at all.
Yeah, there'll be a big shout from the crowd if Vietnam are dealt with. But I don't think Vietnam, especially with Delwin, getting into the flank, he sees them, he knows exactly. Look at this, Argentina, like, they're like doing in the situation. Forward smoking out, Delwin, one more shot, we'll get it. Rival.
Nggak kena. Oh, temannya. Nice. Vietnam nih tapi dari awal bener-bener agresif loh. Tapi selalu top 4 anjir. Jago banget. Fuck lah.
Australia is actually trying to jog for position on Vietnam. Maybe they think that they can take them out and also not only get points for themselves, but maybe just kind of help the lobby and slow things down. But that's wishful thinking, because of course Australia is not going to do that. I mean, that would be a crazy play for them to go for. I just saw them rotating up towards there. They heard the fight with Argentina and maybe thought they could get something out of it, but no.
And Monty's just checking out the compound. The trick is in right now. Korea setting up somewhat of a late bridge camp here as well as Denmark. We'll send everybody through. Here comes that crash. They know the trick's alone.
Aduh.
And they get the knockdown trick. We'll
Yuk.
get one from the grave. But Teddy
King Indo yuk.
coming right on in. So that
Aduh.
one off. And now the rest of Indonesia potentially involved. Setsuna.
Yuk, Setsuna yuk.
The Monty now is look 12. Will throw a nade as a rebuttal. But Setsuna with one of his own. He comes under pressure from the
Nice banget.
Great nade from Setsuna. And Argentina, well, flood is gone. Poland look like they've left their compound. They want to taste
Anjing tapi ini di third party cok.
It's just going to delay.
Aduh.
What a shot from distance. That was
Fuck.
disgusting.
Bertiga satunya knock tapi.
It's just the state of Australia. They just cannot catch a break.
They got the first knock. Had that nade from beyond the grave not got the knock, I'd say
End dulu nggak sih?
Australia would have been fine. But that just goes to show how things are such a fine balance inside of a game of PUBG. Indonesia now, they're sharing, it looks like Poland, they got their point, I think, so they're going to fall back now. No need for them to fight with the rest of Indonesia as they get everybody back on their feet. But in doing so, that's opened up a
Bisa langsung rest nggak dia?
inside the circle. Now Thailand,
Yeah.
they've got a bunch of space they can play. UK, the position that UK are in right now, they're going to extend a little bit further north. I wouldn't be surprised if they stay within touching distance of the recall system just south of their position. And Brazil, they're the same like Brazil.
Si digangguin sama si Poland nih anjir. Argentina juga mantek.
You're seeing
Fucker.
places that teams maybe didn't necessarily always play in the past. Now we get increased value because of those systems.
Yeah, especially if those systems happen to fall where.
Tapi kita udah kill 2 lumayan lah.
Which this is, so we'll see if Thailand is going to indeed do that. Now they have a large majority of actually space to play. If
Mampus.
they want to, is Purdy Curdy is going to rip off BL's helmet.
Yeah, now the question is, are USA close enough to push? Because BL has got Sparky coming in for cover. Oh yeah, this is good. I like this move.
Let's
I like
go.
this move. In the past, this does. Is he doubling down?
2 cuk.
That is a lot of
Okay.
explosive power right there. He's sending
Okay.
2.
Lah. Gak bisa lah kalau 2.
5 seconds to place it. It
Yeah.
takes 15 seconds total for this to grow. By him placing 2, he reduced the time to get there to 7 seconds.
Yeah.
I think 1 would have been fine.
Well, 1 would have been more than enough, but I mean, a C4 just for 1 flush.
Oke, udah di rest lagi.
I mean,
Anjing 2 C4 Cuk ditempelin bangke.
which is fair, but yeah, the double was excessive. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Udah ditembakin tapi itu
I think
tadi.
though for
I like the
US
idea.
Yeah, and they didn't lose kick. They didn't lose anybody off the back of it, so it's kind of one of those situations where it's not the worst in the world. They're still going to do their due diligence to make sure that there's nobody else here. BL, he's not going to call for any help. He knows that his days dust in Brazil aren't going to give up a center's complex
Right.
circle
Right.
to try get their teammate back or go for that tag either. So, you know what? That's the way BL plays. I think he's a really good long-range player. He's great with his DMRs. You see him extend out a little bit, but not like a DELL one where he's extending out to try and find kills. He's more on a scouting standpoint. So when he dies, it tends to be in situations like that. But what about that for a shift?
That is not what you want to see if you were one of the teams on the southeast or just the east side. You can see Germany was making their way into that rotation. Chinese Taipei, USA was set up in that circle. UK, the team that actually you were mentioning had a really good strategy for the south, just has to throw that right out the window.
They could end up going all the way over to the side. I know that we, again, this is just us trying to have a think of, oh my god, that shot from Manchester
It was so good.
Insane. But UK, I think it looks like Michael's set up. They want to maybe go a little bit further north off the back of this one. Poland are driving in and around Hosan. I think we'll see a couple of teams make the send in for there. Looks like Thailand are going to play there, Philippines, Vietnam, and you know you've got Argentina not too far away as it's becoming pretty full inside of the city. But what that does is free up tons of space on the periphery of the zone. Like you look
You
at
can
the
see it.
northwest, it's completely barren.
It's completely open. A lot of these teams also figure that they want to be inside of the city just in case it does go there. It is looking that way, but I like Korea's stance better. I think it's much easier to crash the city than it is to get out of it, especially if Circle happens to shift off of it. So I think they're doing great. Same thing with Philippines. They have a split on the edge of the city. You can see Algenbots up to the north. Wonderful stuff. And Australia is just down to Flood. And he's just going to hang out here. There's no reason for him to do anything else. He just needs to salvage points.
Now playing devil's advocate, does he wait till late?
To
Because
try to res?
it is only phase 2.
Yeah.
He could wait for the blue zone to close, go back in phase 3, get those chips, go to somewhere like school and bring them back. So I
I don't think it's a bad play.
yeah, and it's a play that 2 or 3 months ago isn't possible, and it changes what a salvage game can be.
Yes, the only issue is that even if he does do that, where are they going to land? Especially when we look at how much time it's going to take. This is probably going to close, so wherever they would want to loot is probably going to be in the blue, and that's not a guarantee of finding enough meds to actually tank it so that you can loot.
Well, if I'm Flood, I'm putting some stuff in the car, right? I'm going to get a couple of medkits in there, a couple of helmets and vests to make that possible. Indonesia now pushing
Duh,
it towards
kena ke
South.
Vietnam
Vietnam,
anjing.
Vietnam with the eight at the ready. This could be
Okay.
really tossed it underhand.
That actually might
Gonna go. The fence caught it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that fence didn't catch it, that might have landed right on top of Setsuna.
Mm.
As that one pretty
Ting.
much did, so he's going to get low. Yes, Indonesia trying to cover here, but Hamas putting damage on everybody.
And the problem is, Himas can peek from 2 or 3 different spots, which is a problem for the side. Draft King with a good nade will wipe out Cappy from Poland as all these
Cabut
teams
dulu.
inside Hosan start to
Anjing
lock up.
langsung head-to-headnya sama Vietnam.
Showing the rest of Vietnam and
Muter
then
nggak sih?
to a Setsuna. Just wants to smoke his way back into some cover. Himas, 320 damage so far, no kills on the board, and that's good shots. Those shots from Teddy just pushes him back into cover.
Okay, okay,
and it
okay.
gives Setsuna the time
Relocate
he
nggak
needed
sih?
to join the rest of his team inside the barns.
Yeah, speaking of that wrap rotation you were calling from southwest to south, or southeast to southwest, it's actually Germany that made that rotation. Of course, Breaks doing what he does best, and yeah, he's led his entire team to a completely open west coast.
Yeah, and I spotted that Florida's gone now, so I think he has gone to get those. The compound he left, depending on how
Anjir, circle-nya ke Korea terus, Cuk.
this circle right now becomes a problem.
Wipe out Jerman dulu nggak sih? Tapi ke sandwich sama Vietnam.
This is what I was talking about. It's much easier to get into this or crash the city than it is to get out, especially when you have this just absolute crazy condensation of teams.
Oh my god, Fluky just deleting Algin bots on the north side of Hosan as Philippines move in as well. And that's something that I've always preached as well. Yeah, like you said, it's so difficult to get out. It's the teams that play the extremities, like Indonesia and Vietnam, that have the best chance of getting out. But if you're Argentina, if you're, you know, I think not China, I think that's Poland that are just inside with them. It's so hard to get out of Hosan here.
Well, also if you're on the extremities, you can just try to farm the teams that are trying to get out. So it just works out beautifully. As we can see, Korea, Salute now is taking the fight over towards the UK. And they're now sandwiched in between Denmark. This is a very precarious position for the UK.
Yeah, what did Denmark do? We saw their decision making be perfect in the last map. I think if the UK or Korea get a couple of knocks either side, they might just be tempted to go this way. Salute down to 42 HP, but Soul with a scar will find Vard. Wrapping his way around again now, getting the nade at the ready as Vard is about to bleed out Team UK after a huge game in match number 2. They've gone head-to-head with Korea, who seem to be pretty annoyed that they've been losing the ground to Vietnam all day long. And I can see, is that Philippines sending mortar? It is.
It is.
Denmark too.
It's double borders here just on the side of this hill that you can see the UK fighting on. And
Anjir,
these are not getting
ke sandwich
too close.
parah.
There's still some time for the UK to try to recover, but Keller now will find another knock.
Yeah, Raining keeping an eye on where Michael is playing. Salute has an idea that Vex is down on the other side of that rock, having read the kill bird. We'll keep on casting as Keller will get that point onto Vex. But UK, they wrapped into the one potential place you didn't want to go, and that was right into Korea. And while all this is going on, nobody else is really pushing off the back because everyone else is locking horns. Look, USA and Brazil on the south side of the circle, they're causing themselves some trouble as well.
Yeah, the issue for them is China waiting in the wings for whatever happens between these two teams, especially if Marks start to go out and they're no longer able to recover efficiently. That's when China's just going to come in and swoop up all these kills.
Mati nih Brazil nih. UK posisinya juga nggak enak. Anjing. Anjing. Anjing langsung ditabrak, Cuk.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, they just drove straight into the vehicle of USA. For better or for worse, as you can see now, Korea making their way into the new edge, and the Hosan saga will continue as it is starting to just barely.
Koreanya padahal di situ juga loh, tapi mereka bisa tetap main safe. Bagus banget.
That's not where you want to be. You don't want to go near the UK and Korea in this position. I think they'll just wait here for a little while, find some more meds. T-Bone though.
Aduh, let's go King Indo. Anjing Vietnam masih ngincer, Cuk. Cabut dulu. Cabut dulu. Kejepit Indonya anjir. Aduh. Ya, ini mah. Tinggal 2. Ketangkapnya sama Vietnam, unlucky banget.
Was involved in that defense as Thailand now are looking. Looks like they're setting it to them.
Where are these going?
Is 157 meters the right distance?
I'd say yes. Yes, it is. Right on top of them, they just spread out, just barely. But Cumin will find Ketter because they have to get out of cover.
Yeah, this is good for Korea. 2 kills on the board for them now. Fluky looks like he's sending another one in. Might just adjust it a couple of meters back and forward. Still at 157. This one's going to land, and Denmark knows that they can't move around. Like they have to keep jumping through the smoke, and that opens up the angles for Korea. It's Lil Ghost this time, China, who gets the angle, gets that knock onto Doffy, but it's not looking good for Denmark. It's a good position, but do you still
Kalau udah kejepit gitu udah susah banget sih.
putting them under threat with a team that can provide Overwatch?
The problem is it was a good position even before, but they knew this. I mean, Gustav knew that this was going to be the case. If they can somehow survive this onslaught for the circle to actually close and put pressure on the other teams, they're in a wonderful spot. But because everyone is so focused on them, they have absolutely nothing left. Smokes, probably next to nothing. Their vehicles exploded, flipped. Probably not even providing that much cover anymore.
And China are going for Denmark now.
Taipei sangat berani sekali.
They're going to go right into this position. They'll use the fortress. The
Cina nabrak Denmark.
just out beating on one, but Denmark
Wanjing.
eliminated. And now Korea need to move inside
Langsung
the circle.
ditabrak,
Does
Cuk.
anybody push on to China?
Gak ada yang mati loh Cinanya.
CJ, what in the heck is going on inside of Hosan?
Taipei ini juga anjing ngasih makan Vietnam, Cuk. Bangke. Oke. Oke, ini Korea, let's go. Filipina ngelempar bom, anjing. Mampus. Anjing. Tentrip bagus banget. Bagus banget. Bagus banget. Oke, oke, last man. Last man standing.
And how long? Because Germany know exactly where Klevv is, but Philippines, they have just been the holders of the gate for so many teams over the course of the last day and a half.
Klevv, there's no reses left. It's just down to him. He does have 4 kills. China at least with a healthy amount of points so far in this game, but they're still not even to the points yet. There is still 12 teams alive in this circle, the majority of which are now stuck in the north side of Hosan.
Germany with a fantastic position on the north side of the circle.
Anjir.
Well, angles everywhere. Draft King and Emmy. Best case scenario
King
for
Indo
Korea
masih dikunci
with
Vietnam ini tadi.
Vietnam as they have 7 kills on the board. Another point for Argentina, who are
Tetap
in
killnya 7 loh,
center
gila.
of Hosan.
Vietnam.
UK finally fall
Kok
at
bisa ya?
Africa as we go down to
Sejarahnya gimana mereka nih
There's
sama
20
PUBG?
almost 22 minutes gone, and we're still 3 teams away from the placement point.
Yeah, I mean this is just. And this is what
Spraynya
happens
serem
when you have,
banget,
like, a big
anjing.
city ending like Hosan, and then you still have enough of the extremities we were talking about earlier, where teams occupy and really dictate how the teams inside or even on the edge of the city move. We saw that with Klevv. We saw the multiple teams trying to take that. I mean, that position was so good, but it's just nigh impossible to hold when you have teams like Germany and Korea and even the Philippines looking at that dip.
Yeah, and I think you got to give some credit to Klevv as well, like the way he played that, knowing that Philippines were
Crazy.
allies.
Crazy.
And
Nice
he was
trick.
running to exactly where the nades had just gone off as well, knowing that the likelihood was they weren't going to double down, and he just wasn't seeing with a 10.
Tapi nggak bisa nge-push juga 2 lawan 4 soalnya.
So good.
Klevv, look, he's repairing something. He's got a repair kit. I wonder if it's some gear, whether it's a vehicle. He might need the vehicle.
Oh, nice circle-nya ke Indo.
Keeping Hosan in a little longer.
Oh iya.
Here on the south
Aduh,
side of
kena
this,
lagi Setsuna.
will have to make their way in. They do limp in here. Tanbu will be the front man for the team. As you can see, he's trying to get some damage here on what's left of Indonesia.
Yeah, Flood's still alive for Australia as well. He can hear all these footsteps. Could he be the ally that these home fans want? Hello.
Kena dari belakangnya malahan.
As USA.
Aduh, ini Vietnam. Aduh, Vietnam harus nge-push. Aduh. Bisa lah inilah. Bisa lah inilah. Coba ya. Bisa lah ini. Anjing Thailandnya tapi ikut-ikutan juga. Aduh. Aduh. Cir.
and Klevv, two of the best players.
Ketemunya Vietnam, cu. Fuck lah.
Show today and over the course of the weekend. Poland still alive, 2 points for them, but look at that, Pufa, MG.
It's the best position they've had in arguably the last couple days, so good for them. They have 3 members alive. They do have something to play just in front of them on the edge. That building is still in, so they will have to deal with Argentina and the solo of Norway, but they do have a path in, which is the most important thing with 3.
Yeah, but look at Argentina's position in the circle at the other side of the crossroads. They can gatekeep Poland really effectively. Poland need a knock on, like they're fighting with James, but it's Emmy or Capitan.
Oh!
Matchers is kind of nasty
That's
with
the
it.
second just beautiful money headshot he's gotten here.
I love a bolty shot. Oh, that needs. That, is it a smoke?
I think it's a smoke. Yeah, self-thrown smoke.
Yeah. Sometimes you see the color and you're like, oh no, this could be really bad. But Tenjin going to get back on his feet as Klevv will be forced to move now by the blue as well. Maybe he's just going to stay in there in med and try to limit the placement points. Tenjin goes down to the blue once more. And I think for Philippines, you can't really get that res now, can you? Maybe there's a chance. It was a BZ, I guess, that got it, right?
Yeah. They're in the blue. It's
Yeah.
too much. Masters will find the nade, and so Philippines will fall. A little bit of revenge there for Poland finally onto the team of the Philippines.
Took long enough, right? Took long enough. I love Germany's position. Like Germany,
Yeah.
if anything, Germany needs to make sure that they don't get too busy, right? Sometimes you can get bored in a position like this when you see everything else happening and you're just not involved.
Well, again, it's just their playstyle right now, and so far this lobby is really not giving them a lot of credence to points, right? They have good position, but they haven't been able to kill much or even steal much.
Vietnam kept in by that circle as Thailand now hold the center of the zone, but they'll expect a lot of traffic to come their way pretty soon. I think once the fight between Argentina and Poland starts happening, you might see Fluky fall back and join the rest of his team, or at least get a little, yeah, he's going to make that move now. There's no point risking it with so many players left alive. Argentina, oh, James with a C4 play here. Is James going to send this towards Argentina, or does he go somewhere else?
What? He just planted it on the car that he was next to. I mean, oh, he's using it for Poland.
Didn't need it. Didn't need it in the end, but Norway pick up another point on the Pufa and Poland. Well, they are now down and out as the team that are second last pick up a point off team. Do you hear the crowd as they saw Klevv just get into the circle? They got so excited about that Godspeed.
And that's a good spot for him as well. It's going to be impossible for anyone to see. Now, he is just outside of the circle, but that building, he's got so much space to work with. Meanwhile, Emmy is going to get the double onto James. He will go down, so Norway is eliminated, but a nice salvage from him for his team. Norway struggled in the beginning of this one, and he was at least able to get them in the points.
Klevv now prone inside the poly tunnel. He'll be able to catch anybody that moves this way. I think this is good for him. Stay alive, stay in the fight. Argentina, USA, Vietnam, all on the southeastern side of the circle now. USA have done a great job having lost players earlier, avoiding trouble inside of Hosan, but they've got to make their next step inside the circle. Do they go towards Argentina? Do they go towards Vietnam? But Vietnam, look at where they're looking. Those players' eyes are solely locked on the edge of the blue and any potential threat coming from inside the city.
I'm trying to see the terrain that Germany is working with on the outside here, and how much they're actually going to have to move as Alo sets up with the Panzer. It's just him and Purdy. They've been able to move and navigate throughout the city fairly unscathed as a duo. As you can see, the 3 members of Argentina and Capitan are also in this very position. The spray from Hemas still 3 strong, 9 kills for the team of Vietnam, but they are currently not even in position to get punished by anyone else in the lobby. I mean, they're just going to crew unless Thailand pushes and takes more space, which I don't think they will because there's no need for that risk. Vietnam's probably just going to get right underneath them.
Yeah, Thailand are just happy with what they have right now. And one thing about Hemas shooting that window, that gives Argentina a good idea of where USA are as well, because they hear that glass break, so you now know where the other team is. Argentina, they look like they're on the move now. They're trying to consider their next step, and Alo, he lets the first one go. Much like when you see cars rotate past, he's waiting for the last player. He wants to get the final one that moves in, and this could be so clever from Alo if he pulls it off.
USA are the furthest ones out of the circle. They have to move forward into that nade on Capitan. If he can get a second one and a knock, that's an opportunity. He is going to get out of the way. So it's going to have to be the hard way here. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Halo will find one, but they need to cross the street. Time is running out. Blue is starting to push them.
Big thing is,
Anjing.
of course, Vietnam steal that point away. Kurt now with the S12 shotgun. Halo will follow the need for Capitan. Kurt now with the shotgun. Wipes out Argentina. It's another point for USA.
But he's not in. I don't think there's no time for the res.
It's going to be tight. No,
I don't think there's time. There's just not enough time, and Kurt realizes it.
Yeah, so he's going to get whatever he can off of Halo. He'll get whatever med kits, whatever utility. He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh, he gets him.
Oh,
he gets
my
him.
goodness, that was so tight.
Oh, he's going. The wall's just outside the circle, though they still need to take another step, and it looks like Vietnam are ready to take advantage.
But they need smokes. They're not in. That's not in the circle.
Oh, this is tight. Vietnam as well. They're still. Vietnam are in the circle here as well. They're in such a good position for another salvage game. The X-Left from China will get that kill. This man, he is just loving life. And Fluky gets both with an aid.
Yeah, they had full vision of exactly
Lagi-lagi ya Vietnam ya. 10 kill lagi. Gila.
Hold on a second. He finds and flushes Fluky.
5 kills and a P90.
Maksudnya biasanya tim yang kemungkinan placement poinnya banyak tuh lebih pasif gitu kan. Ini mereka agresif dari awal, anjir.
Germany, they're hoping to pick up the pieces here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Germany has to move into the circle as well because it's Thailand that actually has control of center dot, but I don't know for how much longer. As you can see, Vietnam is starting to push, and they are right on the they're on the doorstep as he's going to come through. Jacob will find one, but he will not get another. Solozzi with the trade.
Vietnam are on the move once more. They've got 2 players up, but Jess is going to get a double, and he's going to step up, but him
Anjir. Thailand yang eliminated, bro. Gila. Oke. Jerman sih. Gila sih. Juara 2 lagi. Juara 2 lagi nih orang. Gila. Vietnam gila. Vietnam gila. Vietnam gila. Juara 2 killnya 11 apa 12? Fuck. Tidak manusiawi.
Vietnam just got too many points.
They're insane. They're actually insane. Like Hemas running up like Kiss thought that he'd done enough, and then Hemas just runs up behind him. And the fact that as soon as he got that kill, he didn't stop. He was like, I know Germany are there.
He immediately switched on to Germany. Exactly. It was
like, honestly, this has been an incredible first half of PNC for Vietnam. The story is not done. There's still so much that can change. But as of right now, through 9 maps, they have been phenomenal. And it's, yes, you look at last year, the argument was they had too many fraggers, not enough passiveness in their team. They make the change. My God, do they look like they're on another level.
It's also what's really astounding here as we look through these highlights is that this is arguably one of the craziest lobbies we've had. I mean, every single team is stacked. There is no quote-unquote weak link, right?
Awalnya lambat tapi akhirnya seru tuh tadi.
Think about the players from Vietnam that aren't here. Think about Glorius. Like, 4 players from Korea who could perform just as good. Like, they're so stacked. Again, we're getting away from like the fact that Germany played a brilliant game. It all kind of stemmed from that rotate they took, really, what was it, phase 2, phase 3, where they went all the way from the east side of the circle to the northwest through that western side. But look at this. The spray transfer was perfect from EMAS. And he knew that there was no angle on him, so he confirmed out those extra kills as well.
In fact, again, just the wherewithal to know that he needs to clean up those 2 kills, right? It's just, he's not just, he's a very cerebral player, and that's what makes him so dangerous.
Kacau.
The fragging ability that he has.
Gak manusiawi.
He's very intelligent in how he approaches those frags, how he approaches those fights, those angles. Man, look at him. He's just eating it up. Just an absolute stud and a monster.
Kacau.
You know those little like
Juara placementnya 2, killnya 12. 20 poin sendiri, bro.
the right word where it like has awareness, fragging ability, you know.
You're talking about the Venn diagram,
Yeah.
not the pentagram.
That's another team, but they've maxed out. He's maxed out all his
He's
stats.
maxed out everywhere for sure. For sure.
Oh, they're so good. But let's have a look at our top 4. Vietnam, of course, will get the most points. No surprise there. 16 kills, 23 nades.
And again, though, big congratulations for Germany. They held their space in the north so impressively, but their playstyle is just not conducive for getting a lot of kills. And if they really want to start catching up, they need to have higher kill games where they're still maintaining the same level of control and they're getting at least second or first place, because this is a massive hill to climb now towards the top 3 teams.
If anything as well, I'd say Korea are starting to look over their shoulder at China, who'll be closing that gap. Let's look at our man of the match, though, and it's going to be Mika with 2 kills. And yes, we're going to give it to the team that wins. But again, Germany, from a macro standpoint, played a brilliant game.
Yes, they did. I'm not going to disagree with that, but again, with how crazy this lobby is and how stacked the top already is when we look at the leaderboard, you know, getting 12, 13 points here or there, unless they're getting it every game, I mean, they need to have more kills throughout the day. That's just how it is, and that's just not Germany, by the way. That's every team that wants to try to break into that top 5.
Yeah, and it's going to be so hard as we look at our match leaderboard. See how many points were garnered in that game, and it was a 22-point game for Vietnam in second place. Germany got 14, China with 14 of their own as well. And then you look at like
22, anjir.
champions just have not had the start to today.
Kill 16, bro.
I believe the first game, I think
The
they had
fuck?
like 5 or 6 kills. They were kind of getting in the mix there, but yeah, they have been thwarted, especially when we look at the last position that they had on the north side in that graveyard where we saw so many teams go. There really wasn't many options, and so it was kind of rough for them to get anything else off that game.
Yeah, Vietnam now at 130
Bangke,
points.
130. Turun lagi King Indo ke 9.
But if they did, they would get 260 points over those games. Korea now just 2 points ahead of China. Thailand starting to close that gap as well as they get to 70. Denmark with another okay game for them has them on 65. Argentina still ahead of USA, and Germany rounding out our top 8. UK though, still see them climbing the leaderboard, but for Poland and Norway, who were opposite sides of the scale survivors here, right? One team dominant, got into the top 3, the other team last ditch entry. They've just really not got going.
No, they haven't, but at least for Poland in that last game, they got out of that entanglement they had with the Philippines, and they were able to get to an end game with 3 players. So that at least is a bright spot.
Yep.
Hoping they can continue that moving forward, because they absolutely need to.
Yeah. So last night on the bus on the way home, Shrimsy had said, you know what, it's not too bad. We're 2 games off the top spot, 2 wins off top spot, 3 before the 6th game. They're about 4, they're about 5 now. It's
The
insane.
gap is just getting wider and wider, but USA did manage to kind of salvage that game, right? We saw it was Kurt and Alo at the end, but even then, not a lot, but a couple of their kills got stolen anyways.
I think for Denmark though, like, they're in a really good position too. Like, their opportunity to break into the top 3 is in such a good spot right now. You look at the roster they had, I'm actually so happy because I talked about it yesterday, but I picked up Keller and Doffy so much to you and Paper, and their day 1 of survival stage was not good. But how good have they been since that point? Like, Keller as an upcoming player inside of Europe potential.
A lot of talent for sure. I mean, we've even seen it from players that aren't even in this stage, right? Who didn't make it. There's a lot of talent up and coming in PUBG, and that's we need that. We need that fresh injection of players, younger players coming in and learning the game, learning from the experienced players, and then becoming the superstars that they can possibly be.
Well, look at how good Brazil's gotten in the last few months, giving some players an opportunity and sticking with some rosters too, with the likes of DELL and Santa. They earned the right to be here. I think, you look like maybe Argentina, the faces are a little bit more storied, they've been around for a long time. But Argentina have had put on a good showing here as well over the course of the week.
Yeah, and they got that win early at Miramar, so that was a good boost for them, but they really need to build on top of that. And one thing with Argentina that I'd love to see is they are starting to get more and more proactive. And it looks like even though it has been somewhat of a struggle, they're still finding that confidence to get those kills and push out of their compound and be more proactive.
Well, the 64 players have got through passport control. They're on the plane, and we are changing our destination. It is Rondo coming up now for these teams, and this is a map that plays so different to the rest. It's got its own intricacies. It's got the EMP zone. It's got those monoliths, those spires that seems like to play on top of. And not to mention, probably my favorite vehicle in the game right now, the Pika Bus.
That Pika Bus is awesome. But one thing to note about this plane is it's very southern, so probably I'd actually love to see a team long Garden ending. Like just the terrain all the way down to the south is so good and conducive for just playing on foot and pushing teams. So I would really love to see that. As long as we just don't go to Jadena City, I'll be happy.
The thing is, right, Tenjin, some designers, map designers, made an absolutely beautiful part of the map. Like it's so scenic down there.
We never see it. We never see it. So, what is this? Hold on, there is 3 teams in Jadena City right now.
Why is there ever one team in Jadena City? Right, anyways, we're getting stuck into the action here. Godspeed. Jeans running towards Tenjin. Looks like he doesn't have a gun in his hand yet. Wonder how well Tenjin finds it. Oh yeah, Jeeps. Point on the board there.
Kok langsung jatuh time trip?
Now you look at it, right? Norway. It looks like Philippines went for like a Jadena City split. And Norway were like, yeah, we can't get to our main drop. We're going to go to your alt drop. But I can't remember the last time if I've ever seen the first kill of a game on Rondo being in Jadena City.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And if you're Poland, you're looking at the kill feed like, yes, you know how it feels.
If you're USA or Australia, you're probably going, yes, Tenjin's not here either.
Right. I mean, the Philippines have been a thorn in multiple team sides.
What I love about that is we've had a kill, and the players headed up and looted, and Germany are still parachuting from the plane drop.
Nice and slow is the best way to describe their playstyle, but it tends to work for them, so
they want to be the PNC 2025 champions. I think that's a tough ask, but inside the top 8 as things stand, a good performance here can put them right up alongside Thailand and China if they can secure a win. I think this map yesterday is where we started to see some of the good play from Argentina really start to come in. They've got another good circle. I think this is the sort of circle that suits them better. They didn't get direct center, but they can loot and move into positions. Lil Ghost has extended up from China, from Test Track to take his position in the center of the circle as well. Shrimsy with the same mindset. So a couple of individual players with the same kind of mindset. Let's extend away from the team, secure a compound near the middle of the circle, allow the rest of the team to loot, and then join me a little later.
Yep, and you can see that's kind of what Lil Ghost did as well, even though China was already well positioned in Test Track. You can see though that Australia is getting dangerously close to the team of China. Meanwhile, it's going to be High Man hiding from Calbs. Trying to maybe get a little something cheeky off this rotation out of Jadena.
He's heard something. There's the only reason he's here is he feels like Philippines are going to go for that tag or try to take on the fight. Because let's be honest, Philippines are another team that's been really good at using the recall system. So it's a good idea, a good situation understanding your enemy, understanding your opponent. But Calbs has gone for an extremely wide wrap, and that could be a problem for him and if he isn't aware. And I think that Calbs dude is being really clever about how he's playing this.
He is, but the problem is Norway knows exactly what he's doing. Hyman heard his vehicle, so they know he's there. And even though he is trying to be sneaky, the element of surprise really isn't on it. I mean, you can tell he's not even worried about Jadena behind him.
Yeah, he's side of the bridge to make sure, or just to double check if anyone from Norway had already left that position. Are there any vehicles there? But that's kind of the main talking point that we have. Other things worth noting, I suppose, at this point is how close Germany are to Denmark, as we just get that brought up on your screen by Zhao Team as they look to move in. I think that Denmark should be aware both teams dropped off the plane at the same time. You'll see Germany rotating this way. And if you look right here, I think that's Doffy is getting so close to Mika.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're just gonna run into each other here. Dolphy, I'm not sure if they've seen each other quite yet. And this fight is just taking right outside the circle. So realistically, if Denmark wanted to, if Germany wanted to, they could take the time to fight this. And there really isn't another team near enough to them to actually punish this. So this could just straight up be a 4-on-4.
Yeah, Cal's rotating back this way again. He's done a lot of scouting work, a lot of good work for his team. And Hemon has not given up his ghost either. He has a job. He's got a bridge.
I love this. It looks like the Philippines have actually tried to counter-camp Norway on this bridge because of the information Cal's was able to get.
I think that's great. It's really a good idea to counter that bridge. But look what Norway are doing. They're thinking that's a possibility.
So they're going north.
They're going north. It's these little
layers.
It's chess.
Yeah.
It is chess. But the thing is, it's not one team against another. It is 16 teams on the same board. And it can just be crazy. But all these little decisions is going to impact everybody else. The fact that this has taken so long gives like Chinese Taipei, Savior the chance to move. The fact that this fight here by Zhao Team with Germany and Denmark has gone on for so long, it might give Indonesia the opportunity to get into the circle a little bit quicker than them. Korea could take some spots that maybe Denmark might want to play. Everything is having an impact on, every player has an impact on every other player, and there's no game like it.
That's why we love it. Especially at this level, watching these teams make those decisions, navigate the difficulties, and just the variables, because that's really what PUBG is about. It's about managing the variables. Sometimes you can. That's just the way the game is, but other times we see some truly incredible plays. You can see, it looks like Australia is starting to really chase down China, and looking down, Norway still is in Jeddah City, at least James is.
Yeah, Calves has got the idea that they're still going to hold for that recall system, right? And that's why Hemon is still here. He's like, I want to make sure that they have no chance of getting it. Hemon has gone down to the low ground, and that might cause some problems. They're so close. They have no clue.
This is crazy.
They're running.
Oh, I think he saw him.
He knows.
Hyman finally
And
saw
Calves
the
knows.
Calves turns.
They both know. They both know. The game is up. The game is up now.
The
and-
jig is up.
Oh my.
What is going? They're just mirroring each other. This is a dance.
Both players are like, I'm going to outbrain you. You're going to run back. Or you're going to keep running. I'm going to run around and wrap and catch you. But you know what we need?
Silly, but so sick at the same time. I mean, this is. It may look funny, but this is actually very high level.
You know the Benny Hill music?
Yes, I do.
You just play that over this, and it is perfect. Him in though, I think he's got himself in a bit of a tough spot because he needs to vault up now or jump, which will make a ton of noise. I think Calves, if I'm looking at the rest of the players, you've got CJ looking this odd. The rest of Norway have come back.
They want to deny
This
this.
is going to cut him off. This is so much fun. He's going to get up on the Calves. Has seen Itzy now too.
And he sees it, and he knows he's in trouble now. But there's another player from Norway looking, and it's going to be James. He's going to take a spray. Nothing hits. Fortunately for Calves, and he's going to make it out of there. They're just going to give up.
All that for nothing.
You say nothing, but I mean, look at this. He's like, ha, I bet they think I'm truly gone.
It's just like every player is like trying to big
And
brain
this
the
is
other
all
one.
for Tentrip, by the way.
Yeah. The battle for Tentrip. That tag. It's like Saving Private Ryan.
Hashtag battle for Tentrip. I mean, that's literally what this is. Norway refuses to give up. And you know what? Tentrip is a damn good player to keep off the field because he is a menace.
And Norway have nothing to lose here either. At
They really
14th
don't.
place. Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, also, with the circle being the way it is, they have an easy path in on the east if they get rid of Philippines. So this is fine. And get more points. Why not?
and the longer this goes on, the more space that actually will be open as teams move closer to the center of the circle. Now, as we see, the blue zones got involved. Norway are pinging out where they think these players are. Calves has got, see, Intense doesn't want to shoot until he's guaranteed the knock.
Yes, which is wise.
And that knock won't come until Calves spots somebody. There you go, he needed the second shot. fired at the right time because Cal's whipped out the bolty.
Well, he also stopped in that bush and he thought he was probably unseen.
Yeah. So what's going on elsewhere? What's been happening on everywhere else inside of Rondo?
Not much, honestly. All these teams have just
Anjir, motor glider.
position in the circle and everyone is just waiting. I mean, that's pretty much the game. And with a map like Rondo, generally every circle is going to be on playable land, right? You're not going to have too many areas that's unplayable. So this is generally what happens early in Rondo. You don't see too much craziness happening as far as fights or crashes because there's just so much real estate that you can actually play.
And saving private Tentrip looks like it's about to happen. So Philippines will go get that tag, and Tentrip, the menace, will be back. Inside an EOX factory, you've got UK getting really close to Australia, who are holding on to this position, not only due to its value, but due to the fact the recall system's there. Australia's done that a few times over today.
Yep.
And I think UK fired with the eye in the sky. He's decided, you know what, I don't think this is our best play. I think you're better to fall back. And Barry's going to scout out the circle, and that's going to shift heavy to the south. And that's really good news for Philippines.
That's incredible for Philippines. All right, that's good for Philippines, but that's incredible for USA and for Thailand. They are in prime real estate position. Counts, of course, will get up 10 trip. And you know what? I love the fact that Philippines just weren't going to give up. They're going to get that fourth player, or they're going to find a team and die for it.
Yeah, and look, he's worth it. Like, Tentrip, to me, is worth it. He's the breakout player of PNC for me, right? His stocks are on the old Denmark are hunting down China now, Xiaowu and Little Ghost are in the same datsy. They're going to hit a tree. That'll hit them and move on. And I think Denmark, they hopped out for the fight. China are going to move on. They'll continue to go north. And there's no harm with Denmark chasing because they're still so close to center.
Yeah.
And I think that even though you didn't get enough just by putting that pressure on the China and forcing them away, it's a good move.
This is China also just getting away from that fight. Also find themselves in a strong position here currently in this split. The only real threat is going to be the split above in Brazil, but they don't have to move for a while either.
Chinese Taipei, they're rotating in from the north. They'll intersect Korea and Australia, going past test track as things stand. Salute spots them out, but even as good as Salute
Sepertinya kita mau mandi dulu guys.
some dogfight. Come on, Bard. Yeah, he's going for it.
Jadi ini tak play aja tapi off cam.
Battle, if you will.
Flight of the Valkyrie should be playing now. Benny Hill earlier, now we should get some Flight of the Valkyrie as these
Oh,
two
but the
teams.
blue zone, or I say the EMP zone, Ixlef will find sparking in the distance.
That's a really long knock.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the sparking should be able to get picked up. That shouldn't be a problem for him. Little Ghost, though, is going to take some time to get a spray out towards Chinese Taipei, and they're, I mean, I would be surprised if he hit any of those. That is a crazy distance to try to hit something. Gustav as well will find a small amount of damage, but nothing crazy. I say that, but Ixlef will find Malrush, and the flush will come from Xiaowu.
Yeah, Saviors looks like it's going to jump out too. It looks like they're going to lock into this fight with Denmark as Gustav will start tossing his nades across the road. They've got deployable shields up to provide extra cover. Leo is looking to wrap up onto the high ground on the other side. All these nades are going to naturally flow into the valley that Denmark are in. So even if you go long, it rolls back. But Leo almost had the he had him dead to rights, but he didn't get the knock.
Oh, this nade, though. This nade could be absolutely huge. It bounces, fortunately, for Denmark, but it's Savior now with a separate angle. And a molly. This is so much pressure for Denmark to deal with, and they're getting picked apart.
Gustav down and out now. Doffy and Ketter need to work together. Jawei with another nade of his own being thrown in. That's another good nade, but the vehicle's going to take the brunt of the shrapnel. That nade could be a little bit better. The vehicle explodes and Jawei eventually gets it done. And Denmark deleted. And here come the Chinese.
Chinese now trying to pick up the pieces. The problem is Chinese Taipei didn't incur any losses at all. None of them knocked, but they might get punished here for going for the loot.
The terrain works for China as they push towards Chinese Taipei. Good nade thrown on in. Could do a ton of damage. Ming Ming will find the knock on the Savior. And now it's all systems go for China. Another nade will be tossed as he tries to read a player, going for the res. Fluky was in the sky and he's just been...
I love that opportunity. I was going to say Fluky generally will flex out from Thailand and try to get involved in these third parties to pick some points, but he just happened to knock himself. I don't know what happened there, but China now full steam ahead is going to push forward. Leo will find one to try to stop them, but Zhao Wu will get control.
And Brazil got a push now. China are weak. They've sustained a knock, but how quickly can you get into position? Sparking and BL just do the exact same thing China did. Throw your nades into the valley. Trick from Indonesia gets Sulawesi from Vietnam, and that's a big knock for Indonesia as they look to secure this section of the map. Hemas is still alive, though, on the south side of Yulin. Hemas, he's just
better.
It's not fair.
He's just better. It is what it is.
It's like, honestly, it's not fair. He's literally got plot armor, he's got level 7 gear, he's just insane. Hemas is going to move in, he'll get the res on the Tanvu. Trick will do the same on the Setsuna. But Delwyn, he'll start to get the off angle here as well. The rest of Vietnam, or these Vietnamese players, they've been in this situation before.
And this is a crazy rotation from Korea, as this is completely blind. There's no way they could have known that any of this space was open. That's why they currently are out in the open area.
I don't like this position.
I don't like it either. I mean, they can get protected by USA depending on what UK does here, but yeah, I mean, at least they made it into the circle for now.
Yeah, UK will rock up onto these silos here, and that's bad news bears for, I think, Korea if they get that angle. But for now, Korea will just look to set up. Maybe they just wait.
Looking at the position, though, there really isn't anyone that can punish Korea, so this is low-key genius.
Depends on if Norway can get to the ridgeline to the north of them, and then they've got a great line of sight in towards Korea. Yeah, Korea, I think they've made the right decision.
They realize that the West is way better. That ridge, I agree 100% with them and with you.
Yeah, so I think they heard UK fully. Maybe they wanted to check that out, but they heard UK, the shots from USA fall back, and that cuts off Norway from that position now too. So in reality, not only have you got there first, you've given Norway less of an opportunity for a rotate into the zone.
Yeah, this is wonderful decision-making from Korea. They will find themselves now in one of the stronger positions currently.
Yeah, Hemas just doing Hemas things. He get the knock and flush onto Setsuna, as that's point 132 now for Vietnam. They have sustained one knock as a player is down, but that shouldn't be for too long, as it should get everybody back on their feet. Norway just a couple of seconds to...
Oh, 80!
I was going to say they were too late to the party, but that knock all of a sudden gives them a chance, and... Oh no, Korea have got a Panzer. Korea have got the perfect answer if Norway try to full send it in.
Oh, and what a shift.
Look at Himman. Himman got reigning and Guman.
Oh.
And USA are helping out Korea.
That is craziness. Norway fighting tooth and nail, and USA just coming in and ruining things for them.
I like the aggression from Norway. Korea now sole, the only real player standing, and Tens will pick up kill number 3. You can hear the Norwegian fans. They like that. The Korean fans, not so much, as we have silence elsewhere. China will move into the circle now as they get pretty close to where Seoul is playing. This bowl right now that China are in, I like it. I actually think it's okay.
It's good, but unless Seoul makes a heroic effort here, he's coming up on the backside of China. I don't know if they're ready for this, though, but Ming Ming will spot him out.
Oh, he's going to switch over to the gun now. He doesn't have time for the nade. Kickstart, though, is going to help. Seoul is eliminated. But just like that, Korea lose even more ground than China. They now jump without in second place. And Vietnam are going to get Sulawesi back. They're back to a 4. It is big for Vietnam.
Someone needs to stop Vietnam, man. They are just running away with this. They are unstoppable.
Going to need to get like a bounty on their heads at this point.
I might take the whole lobby, honestly, at this point. I'm not even sure. Australia, though, continuing to struggle. Luke 12 out all the way in the blue. And he's going to get taken down by Algin bots.
Yeah, Philippines, they got their man back. Tentrip, he'll get the knock onto Santa with the Dragonov. And Tentrip will get his point, showing why it was so important to bring him back into play. Brazil, they don't want any of it. They're going to leave Santa to his fate. They'll keep going into the circle as Thailand will get a kill confirmed on to Argentina. And here come the Germans.
Germans indeed. And they still have to contend with UK as well. Micah is going to find Draft King. That's going to be the first of them to fall. Emmy now just trying to survive, get the hell out of there. He's going to stop down tentatively close to China's dip. He'll be okay for now. In fact, it's just Emmy.
See if Emmy gets a couple of points from this position now for placement. Korea are going to be like, we had that. That's exactly where we pulled up. And we left a little earlier. We were like, oh, this is brilliant by Korea. Just to get wiped by Norway. China, Vietnam, there comes Salolzi back into the fray. He'll be able to land and hopefully get some loot for himself. Philippines as well. They're going to wrap in very close now to Thailand. It looks like Calbs went for the crate. Thailand are really close by, and USA are looking this way too. But the thing is, because of the terrain, USA can do nothing about it. Even though they're so close, they just can't see these players.
Well, and this is an opportunity for Brazil to third party if these two teams start to fight. And that shift is, wow, that is money for China.
They're doing good as well. That'll be the end bar. Katina Jacob will get a kill on Algin Boxes. Philippines now getting put to the sword. Brazil are here now too. Rossiter Jr. with Tantrip. And then that'll be a kill confirmed. In Philippines, one player left standing. CJ up on the high ground by the blue, but Brazil with a utility to throw this way as well. That nade actually, that was friendly fire potentially, that nade from afar. And here come Indonesia as well.
Indonesia now with an opportunity to get some more kills across into the circle. And they are going to backstab beautifully, but no, it's Sparking. And the rest of Brazil able to hold them off, but now Sparking has to get them both up. And you know Thailand has recognized that this is an opportunity for them to wipe out Brazil.
Yeah, nades being tossed on in. Brazil will hear them drop on by. They don't land close enough, but Sparking will get out of there. He's going to keep on moving, but for Brazil, this has not gone to plan. 5 kills on the board will get them into 10th place. Sparking though inside the blue, 3 damage every single second. Make that 5 damage every second he stays inside the circle. Ain't looking like a good game for them. But while all that was going on, Thailand chased UK. They're wrapping in, and Braxco will find a knock on the T-bone.
Poland now with a huge opportunity to get rid of Vietnam and stop their points from just overflowing and becoming too uncontrollable. And there it is. So Vietnam will fall outside of the points.
And now the door has been opened. Can China get themselves another 10, 15 points to close that gap? Well, 10 points would be great for them from this point now. Thailand wrapping in. Here's the push on to Alo. Kiss will step on in, and Kiss will shut him down. Thailand will deal with the first player. Kurt, he'll reposition. Need at the ready. This is what Kurt is oh so good at. Bounces it off the wall. It should be good. It's great from Kurt. He fell. But is someone going to take advantage? Shrimsy wraps around the side, deals a little bit of damage onto Jacob, but a follow-up nade will be thrown. Jacob uses the smoke to disappear off into the distance. And while all this is going on, Kiss is getting that res.
Yeah, this would be a disaster for USA to fall. They've been in this position for so long. They've held it, but they weren't able to get any kills out of it. You stated it was rough, and look at this. Poland now fighting back.
Kickstart.
Kickstart knocks
C4. He C4'd him. He got Jacob. He took himself down, but he might have just opened up an opportunity. Itzy with the MG3 firing towards Poland as they want to get involved. Cappy will fall. Norway eliminated 5 kills from Poland. So much better from the Poles over the last 2 maps.
They are really coming alive, but it's just down to Shrimsy. He has the Panzer. The Molly is out the front. He's gonna get one, but it's not done yet. His work is not over. As he's still low, Jacob, as well as Kiss, still stand.
Yeah, he's gonna step into the smoke. Blue zone nades to try
the
hold
double.
back the push.
Double blue zone.
It's gonna be really, really good, but Kiss is wrapping around the edge. There's a shield protecting Shrimsy. That is all Kiss needs to know to work out where Shrimsy is. Smoke in position. Kiss will just bide his time and wait, but a good the stun actually helps out Shrimsy a little bit, but Kiss will get the kill. And down fall the USA. Thailand, they jump into 3rd. I think they've now leapfrogged over Korea as well.
What a save from Thailand. And as you stated, the leaderboard is getting even tighter there, at least from 2nd to 4th. As Germany now, relatively quiet, but still managed to get 5 kills controlling the south side of the circle. Great job for them. We said we wanted to see more kills out of their edge control, and so far this game they've delivered.
Yeah, and back-to-back wins for them if they can get it would
That would
be
be huge.
And honestly, this is even better because they're holding zone control. Chris and Zerath are staying in the circle. Brax and Mika are watching what Poland are going to do from this point. I think Poland are making the right choice, maybe play the edge of the circle a little bit longer.
Even wrap north.
Yeah, and like Sparking's still alive, by the way, worth pointing out.
Crazy. This blue is hurting, by the way. This is phase 6. The fact that he's still alive, I wonder if he has enough meds to get in. You can see Ike's left now and Little Ghost, the duo left of China, trying to fight the duo of Thailand. Kiss and Jacob now inching closer and closer in. This fight is happening inside the circle, but look at Poland. The opportunity for kills is there.
Yeah, the opportunity as well. China looking to get up into the 90s, and you got Thailand looking to hunt them down. Except throws it down. Cappy gets the angle onto Jacob, but not enough with one to get the knock. That'll be Chris finding Magsters as the Germans turn their attention to the Poles, and Chris will pick up that kill. Poland down to 2 players left alive, but Cappy not done yet, firing towards China as they will dip back into cover. 2 players up, but do Thailand have the utility? It looks like they don't after that fight with USA.
No.
One nade could be all it would take to deal with China.
And you can see the position here of Germany. Brex holding far anchor, and then the other 3 members pushing up towards the team of Poland in order to wipe them out and get a few more kills on the board until they start to turn their focus onto Thailand and China.
Germany looked like they might have gotten some level 3 gear as well. Sparking, you can see the damage he has taken as he sprints directly behind Thailand. And you know this guy as much as I do. If he sees a Thai player, he will die in the blue to get that kill. He will, he couldn't. Pufa spotted him out. Another point for Poland as they climb that leaderboard even more. With Thailand with a 2, China with a 2, Poland with a 2, and Germany with 4. But look at how far Chris
Germany
had extended.
has to be careful. Yeah, I was going to say, if they eat a knock here, and there it is, it's Chris will go down, and so their man advantage is just down to 3 instead of 4.
And you look at the angle that Thailand have. Why was Chris extended so far? He had 0 cover.
I mean, he just wanted to get some utility onto the feet of Poland, but yeah, it definitely came back to bite him as they're all going to retreat. Now, you can see Germany very careful now. They do not want to lose another player and throw this game.
Yeah, 3 is a lot. It's a lot more difficult to win a game with a 3 than it is with a 4. You can see Kiss using that shield, but Thailand need to move pretty soon. The circle is closing in on their position.
I will say, though, the good news for them is that the other teams are not in, and their path in is not easy. So Germany's still in the driver's seat. We'll see if they can execute properly here, as China is just looking for a way in, but there really isn't one.
It's just rocks. The only cover is really rocks inside a circle like this, and Germany have great angles on all of them. Cappy, no kills yet, but begging for Jacob to peek this way. Mika, don't take too much ground. You know, you don't need to get too aggressive at this point. You saw what happened a little earlier. Smoke is now going to bloom as Brax. Yeah, this rock. I think it's a good move for Brax. Go. Jacob turns his attention over, and Jacob is going to get a knock on to Cappy as Poland will suffer a lock at the edge of the circle.
Exliff now. Until you can see that he's looking for that angle, but time is running out. The blue is closing in. This is phase 7. It is, you can see it chunking. Jacob will go down. Kiss will follow.
Yeah, Mika finds that kill. It's a 3v1v2 now. Poland desperately trying to get that res onto Cappy, and China closing the gap. Looks like he's picked him up. He's going to carry him to the rock, but time is an issue, and he's going to fall. Jacob gets the shots, and Pufa 1 HP as Thailand with 1 player up will manage to get a kill secured. Or sorry, with 1, a kill from beyond the grave, I should say. But this should be Germany's game.
Yeah, and to Germany's credit, they're really making it difficult for the other teams. They're taking a good position. Zerath will find Pufa. He will go down, and now it's just a 3-on-2. Germany versus China. Oh, but
That's
a knock from Xlef. That could start things.
That's the worst thing you could have done. Don't give China a knock. And the way Germany are playing, they're all isolated. You're giving another 1v1. You're giving Xlef another chance to get a knock. And this time it's on to Zerath. Nade, this could be brilliant. This could be so good. It bounces, Mika almost falling, but China looking to bring this game back from the brink. Mika delivering 24 damage of his own here, Godspeed. But this is 50-50.
There's no support here for Mika. He's got to do this solo. You can see that angle's cut off from his teammate of Xerath, and Xleft is just working this angle.
But look at the circle. Nobody apart from Xleft and Mika are in it. There's nowhere to play for these teams once that next circle pops. So Lil Ghost is going to try to crawl his way all the way around the edge of the circle. Xerath isn't even looking this direction. He's focused on Xleft's position. He's dropped his backpack. He's dropped whatever he doesn't need to make him as low profile as possible. I'm getting flashbacks to day one PUBG.
Yeah, the snake in the grass strategy, and he's making his way. I mean, Little Ghost might find a spot to play.
Oh, no!
Xleft with a massive double and another headshot. Unreal.
China looks set for victory. Germany snatching defeat from the hands of victory, but China's Xleft is so damn good. Little Ghost, backpack gone, but still looking to put Germany into one. The nade is thrown, but it's a little bit short. Mika needs a knock. Desperation plays now for the Germans as they try to get the win. Xleft forces Mika to eat another round of 5 of 5 of 6. But China are so good. Little Ghost with a win, and they close that gap to Vietnam.
That's gonna sting. That's gotta sting if you are Germany.
Look at the fans. They're right there. They're loving it. They're waving their flags. But it just goes to show, no matter how many players you have, no matter how good a position you're in, if someone like Xleft is given just an inch, he is going to take it and more.
And it started with them losing Chris. It started with that, then they had 3, then Xleft isolated another angle, then the pressure was on, then Little Ghost was able to prone, and they lost track of him, so it was all down to Xleft to really make the play. And of course, the second that he was given anything, just barely a pixel of a head, he ripped off Mika's top, and he was able to close out the game. What a player.
And that's some of the better aggression we've seen from China. That whole game,
Yeah.
they didn't back off of a single fight. They brought the fight to Chinese Taipei with a third party. They did it successfully. They brought the fight to Thailand. They held their, I think just staying alive in that fight with Thailand was so vital to their survival in that game. Like Thailand not having a nade because of the fight with the USA is another reason why Thailand were able to get that victory.
Right.
Like it goes to show everything that happens is going to help somebody and hinder someone else.
Yeah, it's the butterfly effect, right? These dominoes fall, and then they just shape the way that the game is. I mean, you look at how long USA had control of that compound, and then it was just one fight that went kind of awkward with Thailand that caused them to just go down, and they unfortunately didn't even get a lot of kills out of that.
No, they didn't, and it's just kind of been a story of the tournament for some of these teams where positions have been good. Here's a little look at the Kickstart C4. This is a great C4, right?
It was. He could have gotten so much more. The problem is he hit that building. He had to reposition, but he was out of time. And then, yeah, Kiss just with 1 HP, getting it on Shrimzy, but that was the game. That knock from Xleft was 100% what was China's path to victory.
And Xleft was just keeping all the attention on him as well, which allowed Little Ghost to make that move. Like, even when he's not getting knocks, enabling his teammates, helping everybody get the win. But that's a big win for China as we move forward. So I think we'll have a look at the, we're going to have to see how many points teams got off at the back of that one, and particularly the top 4 teams. But big game for China. But massive shout out to Poland as well. Like these last 2 games have been a lot better.
This is exactly what we've needed to see from Poland. They were able to kind of right the ship somewhat, and mainly because they just didn't have to deal with the Philippines, which has been such a thorn in their side. And you can see all the Chinese fans, and again, it's just so cool to see fans from so many different countries actually coming out to support their teams.
Yeah, and I think most of the fans that have traveled this way have seen their team win a map as well, apart from, I think, the poor Norwegians on the grand final stage. But there's a lot to go. But let's have a look at those top 4 teams from that matchup. And China, 20 points. Germany, disappointed they didn't get the win, but it's 14 more points.
It was still good points, especially after their win last game. I mean, this is definitely the trajectory that they want to be on, as they are, again, set for 14 points back-to-back. You can see Thailand finding 10 points, and then Poland finding at least 6, and some placements as well.
Yeah, look, as I said, Marsalek said to me last night, can't get any worse. It was a bad start, but they've doubled their point tally over the last 2 maps with 2 more games to play. So, you know, the more placement points they get up, even if you're not going to win the event, if you get into the top 8, the money ramps up big time. And this is what it's about for some of these players at this point now.
Especially with the crowdfunding, right? Because the base prize pool was 500,000, but at this point, I'm pretty sure crowdfunding is over 800, maybe even over 900,000.
Yeah, we're getting close to that million mark as we look at our man of the match. Could have very easily, alongside Himas, got man of the match in other matches today, but 5 kills for Excellent. But the big one for me, look how efficient he was. 700 damage, 5 kills. His efficiency was so good.
Again, and he is the reason that they won. He was able to just open that fight up, even though we thought Germany had, I mean, they did have the majority of control on that south side. So yeah, just super impressive. 20 points for China, my goodness. Germany, but impressively again, will find that 14. And then you have Thailand with 14 of their own, and Poland, you know, getting double digits with 11. That's a great, again, not a start because they started last game and now they're building upon that.
Yeah, well, they got 12 points, I think, was it total yesterday? So, you know, 11 points in one map's good. Brazil picking up some more points as they look to overtake Argentina, which I know was a goal of theirs. But let's look at the total leaderboard. Vietnam, 132 points. China, 33 points behind. Thailand overtake Korea, who are now in a bit, I don't want to say free fall,
but they did get 0 points in the last game and not many in the game before that. But the important thing here as well is that Vietnam didn't get many points in that game. I think they only got 2. So if they can, if the other teams can manage to kind of slow them down further in these last 2 games, that really does open the door for like the top 5 to start to, I'd say the top 4 to break in.
Yeah, and there's still 8 games to go, 2 more games to go today. We're going to jump into a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it'll be Erangel. They get involved as they're at the wall for the 2nd time. But Mika with the M249, how many times have we seen this in the past? Really shredding Denmark apart. They fall. The overlords of what's going on, and if they can spot out Adam, like, Philippines hold the key into this circle for both of these sides. Look at the 3 players stacked up now. Adam is going to get knocked by Tentrip, and this could not be going better for TPK. They're trying to steal the kills away. Tentrip with another one. Vex gets the last one, and Canada fall. Team, they assumed that this position was clear. Trick was there. Elsewhere, though, Turkey, they're going to run into Chinese Taipei as a quick triple knock will come through. Savior, who we heard from at the start of the game, he's holding the MJ3 and that weapon.
No, no, no. No, 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 not like this. Don't do Cappy like this. Don't do him like this. Oh, what a shot, Trick. No, not like this, Poland. Come on, man.
Lemon will get himself flushed. Chinese Taipei fall.
Another reposition, switching between sites. Wants to find the best one for this moment. Red dot seems good to me. And over, AT headshot found. AT has to prone down. Needs some help from Intens. Intens right behind him there. And oh, he goes for it. He's got it. Baby! Woohoo! The double kill.
To sit is to progress. Sit is.
스틱스 BMX 팀 유소년 선수 김한결이라고 합니다. 어릴 때부터 자전거 타는 걸 진짜 좋아해서 지금은 본격적으로 선수 생활을 하고 있어요. 처음 경기장에서 BMX 레이싱 선수들의 경기를 보고 와 진짜 멋있다라는 생각이 들어서 본격적으로 시작하게 된 것 같아요. 스포츠는 나 자신과의 싸움인 것 같아요. 어제보다 발전하기 위해 계속 도전하게 되는 것이 스포츠인 것 같아요. 내가 과연 유망주인가? 책임감 있게 행동해야겠다라는 생각도 들어요. 가장 큰 원동력은 더 잘하고 싶다는 욕심인 것 같아요. 저를 계속 도전하게 만들어요. 저에게 스포츠는 도전이에요. 넘어져도 다시 일어서면 된다는 것. 실패가 아닌 새로운 시작이 기다리고 있어요.
Smooth and original, straight from the underground. Listen to the real funk. Hold on. You better don't stop me. Watch out, the furious. Better be focused. Listen to the real funk.
And it goes a little something like this. It goes on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on. Listen to the real funk.
혹시 모델업팅 좀...
Smooth and original, straight from the underground.
And PNC 2025 has just got 2 maps left on day number 2 of 3. And I said today was moving day. Well, one thing is for certain, Vietnam have not moved from their spot. They have just been picking up points after point after point. But Godspeed China, they are having themselves a very tidy day.
They really are, but you could argue that Vietnam is just moving more and more into the stratosphere with how many points they've been able to get. But China, as you said, is on the hunt. They've had some fantastic back-to-back games now, able to get so much, a lot of which has been off the back of ice left, man.
Like, you think about the salvage game that he had the game before on Tego. Picked up a ton of points for his team. And in the last map, he just obliterated Germany at that point. And I think that going forward, China have a real chance of catching Vietnam because there's still so much game, so much to play.
Only if Vietnam slows down. That's really what that's kind of been now the narrative of today is when, if ever, is Vietnam going to slow down? So some of these other teams who are actually in the chase are able to catch them.
Yeah, and speaking of teams in the chase, Thailand have entered the fray now as they seem to have finally gotten their feet beneath them. And we are getting ready to jump into Erangel for game number 11, game 5 of the day. And we'll see who can take the first chicken dinner on what is essentially the most storied map inside of PUBG. first question to you. Australia, Philippines, USA backed off the hot drop earlier. Do Australia do the same?
Australia is in a big slump right now. They're at a big struggle, so I just don't think it's wise to hot drop. But I mean, maybe they feel more confident in today. I'm not sure.
We'll see. Pachinki is able to be dropped on from the flight path that we have. Very southern, going from the east to the west, just below Milta, finishing just north of Quarry. As we look at China on the plane. Thailand dropping nice and early, heading towards Novo for that potential Millie Island circle. Here's the thing, you drop in Novo, you're like 90% sure you're going to find an E-pickup, so even if the zone does go really far away from you, you've got opportunities to get out of there.
Yeah, but for those teams that don't find an E-pickup, right, that's going to be a long rotation depending on where the circle is. And again, with a lot of it kind of being more southern, we'll see how that plays out. You can see multiple teams still opting to go for Sosnovka. It's going to be, looks like actually Poland and Korea.
Yeah, Poland.
And Hot Drop is live. We're here.
Yeah, we'll jump on into the action. I think it's one each, right, so far in this hot drop. But I'm going to put an asterisk beside it because it's one each in the hot drop. But if you remember correctly, Vietnam third-partied and ruined the Philippines' chances of winning it the first time around.
Yeah, so then in that case, I guess it's just 1-0. If you want to really push that, sure. Whatever you want, Gibson.
I just want to make things dramatic, right? You know, add a little...
West Coast circle as well.
Big circle, bad circle for, I think, Thailand, unless they can get that E-pickup. But Tentrip, the menace, is ready and waiting, and he hits a headshot on the Tig, almost getting that knock. But Tig, he's down to 1 HP. Tig's got a Panzer, though. And the Panzer does hit a little bit harder if Tig can get it in the right angle.
1 HP, no heals. Again, they just dropped in loot. This is the first building Tig has touched, and CJ is gonna find Monty on the roof. He was going for the high ground. He had the same idea. CJ was there first. Elgin Bot's taking some damage, and it's gonna be another knock, though. Luke 12 will go down, and Australia, they just can't find their footing.
Australia might see players go down, but the viewers at home could see their G-Coin stocks go up if they enter the code BRILLIANT on the PUBG Esports website. One of my favorite phrases is brilliant. I like to say that's brilliant for people from time to time, but Calb's with a Panzer of his own. As Tig will look this way. Oh, no.
Oh, the trade!
Yeah, you get a Panzer, you get a Panzer, but all in all, it's still net up for the Philippines. Australia now with 2 players down, Philippines with 1. But look at the angle Flood has with the M249 of CJ. Crests the wrong side of that roof. He's in trouble.
Especially if CJ didn't see him. Now, this will be yet again a recovery game here for Flood. He is seen, and he doesn't get the knock. That would have been huge, or at least an opportunity.
Yeah, now Tentrip's going to hunt him down, and Flood does get the knock on Calbs, and Tentrip gets it done. He gets the kill. A little team ace for the Philippines. 1 kill each.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Still, I think that might make things interesting tomorrow. Do Australia even hot drop in the next map, or do they just say we can go somewhere else? We have alt drops. It's fine. We still want to make a lot of money at this event, and we're not going to get as much as we can sitting in 13th place.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. There's still so much money. Even if you don't win, there's still so much money to play for, and every single placement matters. So, yeah, we'll have to reevaluate. I mean, we're coming back to Wrangle in a game, so we'll see if that's the decision that they make, because the last 2 losses to the Philippines has been decisive, to say the least.
And it all comes down, a lot of these hot drops come down to the first knock and just getting some space for yourself in the early stages. Philippines, what I like about that too, 4 minutes have elapsed and they've dealt with Australia already. So they're not really too far out of sync when it comes to rotating out of Pachinki now either, so they've given themselves the opportunity.
That's a very good point. They spent almost no time at all of that hot drop.
So with that, you look at rotation opportunities, right? So if you've got the map stream open at home, !map, if you do have a secondary device, you'll see that Argentina, they're going to rotate all the way up to north. The flight path that we had has basically told them they can have South George for free. They're not taking any risks going down by Boatyard. It's really smart decision to make for them. And they'll get tons of space as they go that way. The teams on the opposite side, though, of the circle, Germany, Indonesia, they're in no rush. Like, you're that far away from the circle. What you want to do here is let some other teams get in and then free up some space at the edge. But I suppose the big point to point out, Kick, is... But the big point to point out, Godspeed, is you're as talented. You know, you're as talented, but...
That's okay, let's not lie.
I looked at his name on the screen, but the big point I wanted to make was, look how much water is in the circle.
Well, not only how much water is in the circle, that is a big point to make, but how free the North is because of the plane. Because most of these teams also realize the circle, the water, the shift around phase 4. They've opted to go more south. You can see Chinese Taipei currently have Corey. You can see that USA actually landed in and around Hospital. They ended up going to this position on the West Coast very early. So any of these teams that need to rotate in are going to have a free rotation in the north side. As we can see, barely getting out of there is going to be Gustav.
Yeah, and now Kurt's going to attempt to get the knock on the other side. Kick sprinting on the other side of the mountain to find Gustav, who will stop for a moment and pop a first aid. But this is big for both of these teams. Denmark, they want to get back ahead of Germany. They want to get closer and closer to Korea and the top 3. So you don't want to lose a player early. And the problem is, if you lose Gustav here, or if you lose, you know, this is a very tough spot to lose a player because it's really hard to get that blue chip if you want to a little later on in the game. Now, Beamy is going to make his way towards the beach, but look at the pinch. Kurt's going to take the high ground. Kickstart's going to take the low. If they time this right, this should be a free kill onto Gustav.
Yep, and it looks like, oh, hold
There
on.
we go.
Yeah, it is. But Beamy will find the trade on the kick. And that's going to put pressure now on USA. You can see that Beamy isn't really in a position to flush, but yeah, the rest of Denmark actually just, yeah, it's just not worth.
Yeah, USA, they'll get the res here. And I think that, as I was saying earlier, you're not really going to get a chance at this blue chip because for now USA aren't going anywhere. So if you get us later, Beamy, he's got the SKS, he's got Kurt in his sights, another 1 or 2 headshots. No, it's just so hard. It is so hard to get a knock with the SKS from that range. You got to be so accurate because I think it's got...
You got to find the rhythm, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's with the bullet drop, it's pretty significant. Plus, I mean, he's got a suppressor on there. He doesn't have a comp or a flash hider, so recoil is going to be a little wonky. Yeah, it's going to be tough, even for a player like Beamy.
Yeah, Thailand are going to go for the E pickup here as well. A big factor with that is they don't know if anybody's going to be holding the bridge. You know, Korea were there a little while earlier. Right. There's the potential of that. Now, we know Korea have left, but Thailand just can't take that risk. So the E pickup is how they're going to get into the circle. Now, realistically, because of the flight path, they're going to go to the very end of this as well. They're going to maybe look to go towards Hospital, maybe towards North George, and work their way into the circle from there. Interestingly enough, way to the north of where Korea is playing, a lot of teams had the same read that we did, with it being a very southern flights path, with the fact nobody's really going to extend up to North George. They're all going to the north, and they're going to cross those George bridges into the zone.
And this is a wise rotation from all the teams because, again, there was just that much space available. They knew with the plane path that it was probably going to be fairly empty up top. And so, yeah, we saw multiple teams, Argentina, Norway, Germany. You can see UK now trailing Germany as well in that rotation. Everyone's opted to go north, and Philippines, they didn't need to. They're actually still in Pachinki, by the way.
This is the strange thing, right? Because you want Pachinki because of the mobility it provides you. You're so close to every circle. At least the club level, the team level, you drop Pachinki, you're out of there within 3-4 minutes. Philippines are still there, like you pointed out. It's a long time to stay there, as Marcel like, you know what? Upside Poland and the upside down Poland logo in Indonesia, they're going to fight. I think Poland are starting to get into rhythm and have some fun.
I think they are. I think they're finally starting to find their footing. Again, like Marcelik said yesterday, it really can't get any worse, and it's gotten a lot better towards the end of the day. As we can see, Thailand now, they are E-pick-upping in, flying in now. And most of this is still free to the north, so if they really need to, they can just go for a safe drop towards that shark fin to the northwest of what is South George and start to move their way in.
I'm looking to see if the vehicles have been picked up in this position. You know, it's always good if you get off the drop to pick up some way to move later on in the circle, but North George is completely free. And you might even be able to get a kill on the jury spot out, but James up on top of Everest. He's going to catch out Vard. Nade now pulled. Let's see if it's going to land far enough. Should be able to get that flush onto Vard and Vex, trying to get some cover on the other side of things, but James will throw another nade. James is all by himself, by the way. Like, the rest of Norway are a little further away, so this is a really good hold.
It's a good hold, but how long is he going to stay is the question. Because if he gets knocked here, that's it. James is gone. Yeah, and he's going to back off, wisely so. He gets his one, and he's out. Great play from James.
I'm looking for UK to see if there's any, you know, they can. If you look at Everest, there is, just by the ice cream shacks, a recall system inside the circle, so if they want to bring him back, they can. They just have to work out what James has done first. Thailand, they've got themselves a vehicle. They're moving into the zone. But look at this bunch on the south side of the circle. USA, Chinese Taipei, Korea, you've got Denmark, all pushing up. And that could lead to a bit of a problem when it comes to rotates, but I like the fact that USA are moving really quickly off that shift.
And most importantly, for this entire lobby, the first phase shift did not do something crazy with water. It immediately went to land, so this is arguably one of the better shifts for people to actually know where they need to end up after as they go into the next phase.
Kick still on top of the hill, might just catch out Korea as they begin to rotate around the beach. This is exactly where we saw Gustav fall a little bit earlier, and Kick's going to hide and wait. I think Korea are going to scout this position first, and Kick, you've got to make a decision. And his decision is he called a fight. He's called in the USA. They're taking on Korea, and that's more like the Kick that we're used to seeing.
Such a good position to go for the surprise attack, and they do indeed land the first knock on a human, but they should be able to get him up with smokes. Unless the push from Kurt comes through.
Yeah, Kurt's going to spot the smokes, and this is where Kurt makes his money. He's got the nade at the ready. Throws it up inside the smoke. He could get two for the price of one here. He does get Gumin, because Raining fell off it. I think if I'm Gumin, I'm like, right, this is USA. There's probably going to be nades thrown away pretty quickly. So Seoul will now need to work with Raining and Salute to win this fight. Raining's going to go pick up Salute, and I think Korea are just going to back off.
Yeah, that's the important thing, is Korea can still get the chip and just back off if they need to. This is not a great fight. The problem is Denmark is actually pulling up behind Korea now.
This is such a good read from Denmark. Beanie realizing exactly the teams that they're fighting to. The vehicle's only a couple more shots away from explosion, so Korea might be forced to clown carrot here over in this situation as well, as Doff. They're cutting off all. Doffy has moved over to hold the push if they go directly towards the east. Beamy and Keter are holding the south. This is bad news for Korea, and it does look like the UK did get Vard back in, so they'll have 4 players back up and ready.
Yep, and in fact, he's going to go loot his own body and probably get all the same loot he had. So really no harm, no foul, just a point for Norway as far as that situation is concerned. Savior now. Opportunity here to do some damage to Indonesia, but it doesn't look like he's gonna get it. No, Savior will. He'll find TD.
Yeah, that's a big knock for Chinese Taipei as they look to catch Norway, but Keter gets the kill on the Seoul. It's going from bad to worse. The tires on the Dacia have been popped. Seoul's car's further away. This is really not good for Korea, and for Denmark, a win in this match, a couple more kills, which is a long ways into the future. They could usurp Korea's 4th position. Beamy from the blue, still rocking the SKS. And USA, well, they've kind of decided with Denmark getting that one, they're going to move now. There's no point wasting any more, spending any more time trying to get 1 or 2 more points when they can go secure somewhere like where that next recall system that Kurt's going to, and put themselves in a good position for the late game.
Yep, and they're going to stop a lot of teams that are coming in with chips, trying to get those reses as well. Again, I just really love the res. It's added so many different layers and options for teams, and it's been my favorite addition this patch. Oh, but what is that? A Gatka proper shift? Okay, let's go.
And look who are in the middle of it. Vietnam with a 2-2 split in North Gatka and South. I question, though,
how high is their confidence will they keep that split?
It's not. Look at the pressure they're coming under, right? You've Norway, Philippines firing this way. They're going to fully collapse on the Gatka, and I think that...
And they should.
And I think even if they weren't in first place, I think that's still the exact same move they would do.
You can see BB is still actually watching this.
So
and it's got to be frustrating. You know that the Korean fans are not happy with him.
Yeah, and well, there's some Korean fans that are. Remember, he's got a little fan club here.
He does have a fan club here, which was very funny to see, but they probably aren't very happy with him.
Yeah. Oh, well, Kickstart's still here. Shrimsy is as well. They know that Kurt secured a position inside the circle for a little bit later. Poland are going to rotate through the red zone. Here's hoping that it's not going to be for the worst for them. But Team UK will look to take advantage of this rotate as the convoy goes on by. Marsalek taking a lot of damage. That information, you can tell that the UK know they hit Marsalek, and that's why they're not hitting the last player in the party. That's why they're focusing on the front car.
You think so? And Shrimzy will find Salute's toesies, as he will get the knock and the flush. So now it is just down to raining.
And I think Denmark are gone.
Yeah, they are.
They should be gone. I'd imagine they're going to go all the way around here and maybe rotate back in towards Chopsticks. USA will watch their rotating. Oh, the bad news gets worse for raining.
There's no, yeah, that's the thing, is like he has their chips, but I'm pretty sure all of their vehicles got battered. I mean, tires gone, both in the front and rear. That's gonna be tough, and there isn't even a res station close to him, unless he goes to the one that Kurt had occupied. But now we see USA actually push straight down to the south into Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei's Leo got the better of them last time, and it's Leo again who gets the initiating knock. Beamy providing some support for the USA, but Kurt is done, and the rest of USA will back off the fight. Leo just seems to be activated anytime it's USA that's locked into his sights. Another kill for him. Kurt's going to fall. I don't think they're going to get that recall. I think they're going to have to play as a 3. And it looks like they're going to fight on this hill line. So Savior, he's going to hear them pulling up just to the north of that position. But Leo being down now with the blue closing in and a red zone, this is definitely bad news.
This could be bad news for both teams. You can see that USA took that dip on that dirt road. It's going to be United Kingdom getting damage onto Germany. Micah's going to fall. That's going to be a flush going their way. Though Varda's been knocked, that should be an easy pickup for them. It's all going to come down to what this red zone really does.
Yeah, I think Denmark are the only team we've really seen suffer from it earlier, and that was on day 1 of survival stage. Circle shifts north, keeping Gatka again. Look at Poland. They took North Gatka after that one, and they're now in a brilliant position for the circle. And it's far too early to make a send for the little dirt path, the little gap below Gatka North. It's a little too early to go for the little dip as well by the dirt road. So at this point, teams are going to play on the edge until the herd thins out a little bit.
I mean, you can see that Chris has that dip right next to the crossroads. That is
early.
It's too early. That dip is so susceptible to nades and utility. I can't imagine they stay alive there too long.
But where are the other options, right?
They don't really have many. I mean, you can play the crevices here just to the north underneath UK and go for the fight there at Everest. But yeah, the options are not great. You can see Leo, they just get we used to call them tempo reds for free. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good position for them to get. I think USA beaten to the punch in that one, and now they're moving in a vector towards China, but back up on top of Everest. Kiss gets the knock on Defects. That's the second time to fall. Now Michael is closing the gap, but he's taking damage. Fluky has stayed below to watch, and T-Bone might be about to get an off angle. You can just see Fluky lining up Michael, but T-Bone is there. Come on, T-Bone, you gotta hit those. He was dead to rights, and now Kiss has got Michael exactly where he wants him, and it just goes to show in the matter of a couple of seconds, Team UK are going to suffer, and the missed opportunity from T-Bone has led to Thailand picking up a couple more points, and now they are on the brink of breaching 90.
Hell of a play, though, from Thailand to just push straight up and take that fight. The angles were good. They were able to just dismantle UK, or what was left of them. Now Argentina is going to try their hand as the mortar from Little Ghost. And this is what we were talking about. You just can't play there this early.
And he just has to hit the exact same mortar strike again, and he should find a little bit of success. The second one comes in. It does so much splash damage, but not enough. Germany will get a couple players back up. This is not good for Germany, though. USA, they're going to crash on in, and this is so bad now. Little Ghost got a bunch of the kills. Alo got one of his own. But USA now, they're going to rush to get Shrimzy back on his feet. Back on top of Everest, though. Argentina here, Godspeed. They're getting pushed by Thailand as well.
I also want to point out it was Norway actually that got a mortar kill onto, I believe, Shrimzy, as we see Seoul coming back down. Korea has 3 members coming down with no loot. I mean, they're about to just feed points.
They're UAVs at this point. As there's one down, Yumen's going to fall, Salute's going to fall. China are the team that are taking advantage of this situation.
That's terrible for Korea, because China is the one that just surpassed them.
I know, and it might just get worse now as Klevv will look to find another one on his tally. Ratings dealt with, but this is not good for Korea, as what's been a disappointing day 2 here on home territory. Where does Sol go? Do you just land on Everest and try to find a little Cragmire and hide? Do you try to...
Yeah, he's gonna go Everest. That's his best option. He can see it. There's a fight, there's smokes there. There's probably a crate that he's gonna be able to loot. He sees the vehicles. Oh, but Rossadin says, no, sir, you are denied clearance to land.
And the Chinese fans loved that one just above us. Thailand up to 9 kills now. They have just moved up through the gears as the day has progressed. Chinese Taipei, they have got to move. One thing to point out that we didn't even speak about the shift yet. Poland now with North Gatka, and a great spot. Vietnam with the tiniest little sliver of Gatka that they can play. But this zone should not go to them after this point. But they're the team once it's dealt with that can move up to that ridge line below North Gatka.
And they're gonna move last because they can see everything in front of them. That ridge is juicy to play, but it has to be played when everything else is out and they are just ripping apart Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, that's not good. Now Leo and Mao Rush will push towards Vietnam. It looks like Keter from Denmark has pushed in as well. Oh, did he C4? Has Keter C4'd that position, by the way?
Oh, the nade! No way!
Wow.
Look, it's all of China! What a play!
Let's go, Elo. China deleted in Vietnam. Now gifted the opportunity to really increase the gap now at the top. So Lolzy will find Mao Rush. That's Elo still in that position. Cappy deals with Beamy. And Elo, look at the amount of bodies he has as well.
I mean, that's a lot of utility. That's a lot of smokes. That's a lot of nades, mollies, whatever he needs. On top of that, there's so much cover he can dance around. If you're a team crashing, you're not exactly sure where he is, then that causes confusion. And look at him go. 8C low on the right side. But with 3 members, it's going to be too much. A beautiful nade lands from Intense.
No, what did Brazil do? They're not too far away. Do they third party this fight as Tanvu will get another kill as Chinese Taipei are eliminated. BL with the M24 peeking this way. Norway with a downed player looking to just hold back Brazil long enough to get the res as Thailand have an angle from up on high. And Fluky will get that knock. And this is all conspiring to let Norway get the res. And at some point now, Vietnam will take this position, and then Philippines and Vietnam will probably fight it out and around that section. But look at Philippines. They have a 2-2 split with 2 players to the north of the circle, 2 players to the south. And this shift, wow, that's so... Honestly, for Vietnam, that is probably the best shift they could have gotten.
Yeah, but Thailand here, they are really making it difficult for Brazil to do what they want to do, which is clear out that dip on Norway and then get ready to peek over this ridge that you know that Vietnam wants to play. So Rossadin and Fluky are ruining this game for Brazil, and Highman is going to find Santastico with a bolt.
At this point, you start thinking about blowing up the coop as well, because that's their cover, that's their mobility, that's their hidey hole. Just keep firing through the smoke as Vietnam get closer. There we go, that vehicle's going to blow. Get out of there, Brazil. Get out of there. The vehicle flips. Santa is down, but James is actually just... Oh, sparking, no!
Oh! The cover came down and flattened Sparking.
Oh, it's going so wrong for Brazil, but this is oh so right for Norway.
It's still recoverable though. It looks terrible, but it is still very much recoverable as now Calbs will step over and get rid of Rossadin, so Thailand will fall. As you can see, James now trying to be the one player that holds off the Philippines for Norway.
Yeah, Philippines in 10th place, looking to hunt down Brazil as their flesh wound has been dealt with. They're back up to a full 4 as Algin bots will deal with James now. Norway split, not really working to their advantage. Himmen will try to fall back towards Intense now. And that nade is good, but not good enough. Here comes the rest of Norway. Now, Himmen's in position, but I still think with 4 players up, Brazil still have the advantage.
Exactly, but that's the thing. Brazil now don't have to deal with the high ground of Rossadin and Thailand shooting, so they have more room to work. And you can see it, Norway stuck here, are really at the mercy of these 2 teams, where you can see it's Calbs. He's literally driving directly into the lines of Brazil. What an animal.
Oh, I love it. It's such a brave play. Himmen takes damage from Himas's nade as Vietnam get within throwable distance now. There's another double set of nades from Vietnam. It's going to be thrown this way. Might even be a love letter to Norway on the back of it, but this one is not too far away. But look at the split that Vietnam are currently holding.
Yeah, Vietnam has come alive. Brazil was really the only team that could have stunted their push here, but because they were being dealt with, they couldn't, and now the nades are coming down towards Norway. Vietnam have already cleaned up the Philippines for the most part. Intense is gonna burn, and he's gonna get knocked as well to Tan Vu.
The thing is, Vietnam are not going to push over that ridge line, so unless they have throwables, Norway should get back. This is what you would call an opportunity for Brazil to push, but because they'd sustained the knock on the other side, they can't take advantage of that knock. Philippines, they've retaken the high ground now as they look down, but we get ready for that next circle shift. And that shift plays into the hands of Vietnam even more. Poland still alive in the late game, but now Brazil have to make a decision. Do you go to Norway or do you go to Vietnam? The smart money's Norway.
Yes, but at the same time, Solozzi is such a factor in what all of Brazil does. He is single-handedly holding them down in that dip. So even if they wanted to go to Norway, as long as he's still watching that angle, they're kind of stuck, which is crazy. And then you have the Philippines that have to make a move down. It's just Tentrip and his teammate CJ, but they're not in the circle either, and that's Poland's job to make sure that they get those points.
More drops coming in here to provide even more cover for Norway. And you got to be careful. We've seen what can happen whenever you throw them in the wrong way. Brazil desperately looking for that knock that makes the push in towards Norway even easier at this point. Tan Vu, who's given that guy a lynx, by the way. He doesn't need, he's good enough as it is without giving him a dangerous weapon like that. And here comes the Brazil push, and they've got nades to spare.
The issue is for Poland is they're really not getting Sparking will hit Iman with a nade, find that knock. They're starting to push up now. Philippines with angles looking for this, but Intense with a P90. That is so dangerous. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-on-4. If they don't push correctly, he's gonna melt them one by one, even 2 by 2. That thing is disgusting. Up close, the nades come out, damage is going out. He's gonna find the heal, but it's gonna be BL.
Yeah, the level 3 gear is like an extra life, but the BZ ain't gonna help as Intense uses that jammer pack to stay a little while longer. It'll beep on empty, the P90's at the ready, but BL takes the ground, and Philippines now will start thinking about pushing this way. But the thing is, for Philippines, for Brazil, the big help is, I would say, Poland and Vietnam, we're holding them out.
The issue, though, is that Poland hasn't been able to get any kills. They were in the best position, but they really weren't able to flex out. And so because of that, all these kills have gone to the wayside to either Vietnam or Brazil or even the Philippines before they went down.
It's a 4v4v4 to finish things off. Phase 8, if it donuts, still keeps a little bit of that ridgeline on the road in place. You know, you think about the dump truck that's just by the edge. That's a good position. You just see it in front of TMAS right now. Like, that's a good position to go to. The circle is going to shift, and it's exactly what we thought, the donut. So that truck now being in is bad news for Poland.
And what are Poland gonna do? Now they do have a ridge that somewhat hides them from where Vietnam currently is, but yeah, that dump truck is gonna be an issue. They need to smoke it off. If they can smoke off that angle, they can start to move in. But then the issue is Brazil. Brazil's on the opposite side of that with a wrap, and Vietnam doesn't really have a way to punish them right now.
The last team to fight's probably going to win this game.
Agreed.
So whichever fight kicks off first, Vietnam want to force Poland towards Brazil. Brazil want to force Vietnam towards Poland. It is literally a game of chance now, and somebody's got to make the first move. Now, I'll say this, if I'm Brazil, you're technically in the best position to avoid the fight because we know that Vietnam shouldn't have any throwable utility. They wasted it all a little while earlier. And Brazil are the same. Poland are the only team that should have anything, really, when you think about it.
Oh, BL just fully recovers.
Yeah, look, 3 nades for Pufa.
Yeah, they don't have... Vietnam doesn't have much. You can see that Brazil recovered that 3 armor and helmet, so they're going to be very healthy, as well as that P90. You can see it on BL. You can see the deployable cover coming out now for the side of Poland, and this is going to allow them to sneak further and further into the center of the circle, because Vietnam's sightlines otherwise would just be much too strong. The fact that they were able to find that many deployable covers is very fortunate for the team of Poland.
Yeah, look at the amount of, as you said, it's movement to ground, but it also creates gaps that Brazil could potentially exploit. If they throw smoke grenades,
very true.
They can close that ground. Cappy will throw another one down in this position. Hemas peeking over towards Brazil. Sololzi will just keep that UAZ closer and closer to the circle. They still have the ability to full-on crash and full-on send if they need to do so. I've just spotted Brazil. I see a Panzer. I see a nade. They're not fully spent on util yet either.
Well, no, with the amount of boxes there, I'd be very shocked if they were. You can see Vietnam now starting to move up. And they have to move first. That's the thing. Poland does it. They have Magsters on basically what is that center dot. As long as he doesn't get knocked, he's going to be able to help Poland move forward. I love this Pufa moving up as well, using that vehicle. Himas desperately looking for a knock.
Yeah, Vietnam are using their last bit of utility now. Here comes the airstrike. Nade after nade after nade. They're going to do damage, but BL will strike first blood. They're fighting Poland now. They're on multiple fronts, but the smoke will create a fog of war. Pufa drops low. BL will confirm out that kill. He is holding back Vietnam. That is his job. He gets the knock on the Pufa's Posa. Magsters turns his attention to DELL win as Vietnam fall to 2, but Brazil still with 4 up.
And the crazy thing is Brazil is fighting this on 2 fronts and they're winning. They're actually winning. That's crazy. But look at this. Poland will find a nade. And now this is down to a clean 3v3 and a battle for the center of the circle. And don't you forget, BL still has 3 armor, 3 helmet, and a P90.
And Santa's got a Panzer. Brazil are going to go for the res, but Posa drops the nade on him. Cappy wraps around, but the Panzer's been wasted. Poland now, numbers in their favor. They said it couldn't be worse than yesterday. It hasn't been BL though. He will find the knock on the Mars, like you said. The level 3 here will be telling, but what a spray that is from Pufa. He subs in today. It's a 2 versus 3 here, Godspeed. And Poland though, the blues right on their back.
They have to be careful about the blues. Sparking is still up as well. The P90 is in play. BL going for the peak, and they are flash. He's getting the angle. He'll find one. All he has to do now is close it out. Masters is so blind, and Brazil with a brilliant fight at the end will close out game number 5.
20 points on the board for Brazil, but even more importantly for bragging rights, they now hold sole control of the most wins on PNC. No longer tied, and it's a second win on the grand final stage for Brazil. This is the thing about Brazil. When they get hot, they are so good, but the problem is they don't get hot often enough.
The inconsistency, yes, but all 4 members of that team fired on all cylinders. The fact that they were taking the fight, they were winning the fight against both Poland and Vietnam, that was insane, and it did come off the back of BL being smart, having that repair kit, fortunately, getting the armor repaired, getting the P90 out of the hands from one of the many crates that was there that traded multiple hands. That was insane, but Poland as well, props to them for fighting that tooth and nail, making sure that they made that as difficult as possible. And that, yeah, that was the 5th game of the day. Match number 11, we still have, oh goodness, one more wrangle.
Best thing as well, Brazil won out of that dip, and when we saw the move there early from Germany, we said too early, right? And then Norway pushed in, it was too early. It was the last team to push that dip that ended up getting the victory, because what happened is what happens when you go there too soon.
Well, it's not even just the mortars that were being sent in that direction. Once you had like Vietnam and other teams within nade range, I mean, it is so easy to just get utility in that dip, and that's exactly what we saw when USA was there, and after they crashed, and then after Norway crashed, and then Brazil got there. It's just madness.
Yeah, and even if you look at the grand scale of things too, Vietnam, 6 kills inside the top 4. They're still increasing that gap. Brazil, they are so happy with that victory. But I think for Vietnam, they need, for their, just the way things were going, they had 130 points. They only got 2 points the next game. They've bounced back really strong, the way the teams that want to win for titles do.
Yeah, and man, you can see the relief on their face, but it's not over. Sparking is still all business. He wants that. I talk to him pretty much every day we've been here. He wants this bad. They all want it bad, and the amazing thing is he's been an MVP at EWC. He's been a leader for this team now for Brazil multiple years. he's learned so much playing in the Americas on a team like Liquid, and so it's showing how much experience that team has. Plus, you have up-and-comers like BL, Santastico, so it's just such a solid team.
Yeah, it's still when you consider how many games we've been through, the pool of teams that have won maps is still relatively small, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's been a situation like that. Top 4 teams, though, 20 points for Brazil. Poland, though, this last 3 maps has been so much better for them.
Yeah, phenomenal work. They have really turned things around. They've righted the ship, and if they can do that now, coming into this last game as well, I think they're going to be poised to really fight for a top spot on the leaderboard come tomorrow.
Well, you know, we spoke to it. Getting into the top 8 is where the money starts to ramp up.
Yeah.
And second place here, a good point game in the game before. I think they got a 3rd place. They just need to keep showing up like that, and they're suddenly in the mix. Because of how good the top teams have been, it means getting into the top 8 is not maybe as hard as it could be as we look at our man of the match, BL. And I'm so happy for him because Santa, he gets a lot of the credit on Rock. Sparking's incredible. Post has done it, but I've always said BL is one of the really good anchor players in the game. And for him to show up like that with the P90 in the end game is so good for him.
BL Malcarmo. Yes, he is a great player, and I love that he's also getting some shine. But something we didn't really talk about was Thailand, man. Thailand in that last game was on fire coming out from the north. They were able to do quite a bit of work. I think they got 10 kills that game. They were harassing Brazil. And so you can see now with the leaderboards, 20 points for them, 13 for Poland. Yet another great game down the bag for them. And then Thailand with 12. Yeah, so they did manage to get 10 kills after all.
Who sat them down, though? Who was the team that knocked them out of the lobby?
I don't know, you tell me.
Philippines.
It was the Philippines.
They have been a nightmare. 10 points for them in this game as well. They won the hot drop. They backfilled fights successfully. I'm impressed. They've come in. Really, really good part for them. Vietnam, 11 more points. Good game for Norway, picking up 8 of their own. But for Australia, they have a decision to make on the next Erangel. Are they going to hot drop with the Philippines, or do they just give up the ghost? It's 2-1. And we'll look at the final leaderboard, though. Let's see who is on top now as things stand.
Shocker. Vietnam, but China with 103 points. Thailand is caught up in 3rd with 96 points. They are now only 7 behind 2nd. And Korea, yet again, just struggled. That was their 2nd 0-point game in a row.
Yeah, and you think about it, Brazil are right behind them. And you pointed it out at the time. Who was the biggest benefactor of China? Or sorry, of Korea bringing back the players? It was China. They got 3 of those kills. So that was 3 more points for China as they closed the gap to the top.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting, we say close. The problem is Vietnam just is not slowing down. Even in that last game, I mean, they are absolutely relentless. And the thing that is most impressive to me about Vietnam isn't necessarily their killing potential with, like, you know, Himas and that roster. It's their positioning. It's not just kills, it's not just dumb luck. Their positioning, their decision-making, their splits, their ability to punish other teams around them is just second to none in this event so far.
Well, you find yourself in a good position in the late game once or twice, it's chance. But when you do it over and over and over
Every
again,
game,
it's not chance anymore. It's just the great decision-making. And that all ties back to a discussion you and I had. I'm gonna say we had it about a year ago when we were to wait a quick conversation. It was like, these players know who's dropping where, who's going to be where after like 5 or 10 minutes, and you can map out your game just with that knowledge alone.
Yeah. Well, Gibson, it is time for our final game of the day, Game 6, match number 12, as we head into Erangel one more time to close out the day. And we'll have to see, is Australia going to go back to Pachinki? At this point, I don't want to see it anymore.
It's a long drop at this point with the flight path that we have. It's really southern, really focused on that Millie Island. It's my last map of PNC. I'd love a military island to kill things off. But where are Australia?
I just want to see Australia have a good game, man. That roster's so strong. I want to see Tick succeed, especially if he's IGLing. But it's been rough. It's been rough for the boys.
Even like the likes of Luke and Flood, like they're great. Like, I love the
Luke,
players
Flood,
on that team.
Monty, they're all just very good.
I have to back Monty because it turns out he's half Irish as well. So there's that. So maybe if we could get a
I love
team
how
Ireland.
you Chat can't see it, but you thumbed your suspenders
Yeah.
as soon as you said that.
You know, maybe we could convince them to defect to Ireland. We could get a team Ireland. Maybe I could play.
Maybe you could play.
If I've done a terrible job at casting and they decide I'm not allowed to cast, Team Ireland.
There's a future for you at PNC, it seems.
Survival
And
stage.
so from what I can tell, Philippines and Australia once again are. You know what? Fine. You know I'm about it. Tig, if you want this, I'm about it. But you gotta win this. You have to win this fight.
I wonder if they're just looking at the leaderboard going, you know what are we going to gain or lose by doing it? Let's just keep the fight going.
I mean, if they can get the 4 kills and recover, that's 4 points early, right? Then they can go on to the next fight. So you know what?
How have we
By all
got this
means.
shift with that flight path? Look at all the teams. We have 3 teams have gambled on it. USA are one of them.
Yep.
You've got.
They haven't landed Millie
We have
Base,
a
I
hot
think, this
drop.
entire time.
We have a hot drop in Primo.
Oh my god, we do. It's Denmark and Vietnam. Okay. Oh, but here we go.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Trade. Luke will get Calbs after Tiggleton falls. CJ now with the over-under. He misses.
Chase him! Chase him! You know, both players had the reload. Oh, that's awful timing. Tanvu picks up a point and to beat me way back on the other hot drop. But Tig is down. Australia's Luke is really low as well. Monty, he's trying to get a knock onto Algid bots and he takes just a little bit of damage, but not quite enough as it needed to be.
I like this though. I feel like Australia is just, they've had it. They're over it. They just want to get this fight done and dusted. They want to get it over with. And they're pushing the pace this time, much more than they did last time. Flood is going to find the flush. Tig still knocked. A possibility to get him up, maybe.
Why are Argentina and China fighting over here as well?
I have no clue, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's a very awkward spot for them to be fighting.
This is what happens when the circle does this on a flight path like that. Like, it really makes it, you'll see a lot of fights that you're not usually going to see. CJ gets that knock on the Monty. Philippines are dominating this hot drop at this point. The only time Australia won was when there was a third party from Vietnam. And I'm also going to add, I think when you look at the mentality of the hot drop here, Philippines take the more aggressive pot. They try to hound down Australia. Australia drop as a 4, Philippines wrap all around them, but that's a good knock from Luke.
Yep, that's going to slow things down a bit for the Philippines. Again, it doesn't really matter if Australia or the Philippines are down to 1 member. There is a res station and they can recover. The real danger is Chinese Taipei. I can tell that they're kind of sniffing something out here and they might want to get involved. In fact, Xavier is just on the cusp of this fight looking for that third party.
Delwyn, the sneaky player that he can be. He's got the M24 and I'm pretty sure he's probably lining up.
What is this? They're chasing down Kickstart.
Yeah, this is an SKS with iron sights as well. Is not the best weapon, but Soul will do it with the MK, and Kick is going to be livid with that one. Halo will try to get it back, but you know what? Korea, they're not going to get a 0-point game.
They're not going to get a 0-point game, and for the USA, I'm sure they'll get that blue chip in a moment here, as this is just now down to Algin, Bots, and Flood, a one-on-one. This hot drop has come down to this. Is it gonna be Philippines to win yet again, or will Australia finally put a stop to the bleeding?
It looks like
Xavier's landed. He finds Tentrip.
Stealing that point away. Tanvu will get the knock onto Keter. Even this fight that's going on with Denmark and Vietnam, not a single Vietnam player looks to have been knocked.
No.
It's so efficient.
Or even damaged. It's crazy frustrating if you're watching as the other teams, because they just seem nigh unstoppable, immortal at this point.
Chinese Taipei, looks like Leo's gotten into the real thick of it as well. Still that battle going on. Flood's still alive, running backwards now towards Luke as well. And it's the wrong decision. He's going to get caught out by Leo. But how was he to know that Leo would be holding that angle and Australia for the 3rd time lose on Pachinki? But if I'm going to put an asterisk on their win, I'm going to put an asterisk on this one as well.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Gibson. It doesn't matter at this point. They're just losing games and opportunities here to get points that they absolutely need. They're currently sat in 15th place, which is, I think, the lowest they've been, I think, ever at a PNC.
It's not what you'd expect, right? Because it's a stacked team.
It's disappointing. I mean, I'm just going to say it. It's disappointing.
I'm going to add one caveat. They're one of the few teams at this PNC that don't have teammates on a team.
That's true.
When you think about it, all the other teams are going to have natural chemistry, natural cohesion, even if it is a little bit splintered. This is 4 players from 4 different rosters. it's going to be really difficult.
I'm still not giving up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad day, but I'm still not giving up on him. At least to climb the leaderboard. I don't suspect they'll be in 15th place. Gustav, what a shot.
No. That player is isolated. You're not able to cross because you're being held by Delwyn. So as desperate as Gustav would be to get this point, yeah, there you go, Delwyn. He is so good at that. And now Doffy is the last player standing. A little bit of damage onto one player. But if I'm Doffy, drive up the road a little bit, give it a little while, go back, bring your players back in, let Vietnam focus on playing the long game.
But you know what? Vietnam has nothing to lose. If they really wanted to, they could camp here. They could just sit here and wait Doffy out and rotate in phase 2 or 3. They're going to have more than enough meds. Why not? They literally have nothing to lose.
Look how much space is in the circle as well. We've not seen it in a while, but there's so much free real estate because of the fact you got that river leading up to the Tadpole Lake or Snake Lake. Oh, little look at Martin on screen.
What a good-looking man he is. All right, moving back here. Looks like Vietnam will 100% hunt this down. Marsalek coming down, and that's not what you want to see if you're Poland.
Now, how hard do they try to get him back? Because they do like to try bring Marsalek back.
I mean, he's somewhere in Yasnaya, right? That's all we know. I don't actually know where his body fell. It could be recoverable, but
the only good thing is he'll know, because you know the way on the map you can see where your blue chip is. Something that I think that a lot of players might not realize, and it's worth thinking. You might go, oh, well, how come a lot of players aren't picking up blue chips? Well, if you pick up a blue chip, it's a beacon. As long as that blue chip's not destroyed, the player who owns it knows exactly where it is.
Right.
And you'll know where that team has moved to. If I was going to do it, I'd pick up the blue chip and just put it in the middle of an open field that people have eyes on. Just drop it off when you're driving past.
Oh, you want that? Here, come get it.
Yeah. Don't bring it to your compound and let everybody know exactly where you are.
So Algin Bots now the last member of the Philippines. And again, he's going to wait this out. As we've seen, the Philippines will stay in blue for as long as they have to, as long as they can get a res off.
Yeah, and you can see in the little mini map what they're clearing. They're saying these buildings are clear, so they're highlighting. Look, to see the 2 ping, that's the building now. They're like, these are the last 2 buildings we need to check where I think Alga's bots could be in. So they're working it out. They're clearing it room by room. The important thing for them is Algin bots has got a barrel and a shotgun. If you're going to push Algin bots, you need to do it as a 2 or a 3. That shotgun, it's fire, a second delay, fire again. So you've got to push it in a way where you don't give him the opportunity to reload. You send a player in, and you're happy to trade that player.
Yeah. We'll see if that's what they decide to do. Meanwhile, in the rest of the circle, everyone has pretty much said it. This is what happens when we have a Yas circle. Oh, it looks like Algin Bots has been found. He's going to try to jump on the roof. Can he hit the... Oh, maybe not. He's actually just going to hold this angle. That's a cheeky little angle.
It's tech. This is some tech from Algin Bots, is he?
No, he's going to go on the roof,
Yeah, he held it from... Oh, no. I thought the timing...
Great time.
I thought the timing was going to work against them for a second, but you'd assume, look, all the members now of Chinese Taipei, they're holding these different angles. Savior is going to drive up on top of the hill to get a better angle on this spot, and I think Savior could be the watching. Yeah, we can see the coach here of the Philippines. She's watching on, and, you know, I think she's going, this is inevitable.
Okay, I'm back, bitch.
Hold on, Gibson. Don't count Algin Bots.
Yeah,
okay.
bye.
No, you were right to cut him out. That
Yeah.
That nade was perfection.
Map terakhir.
Good for Chinese Taipei.
Ini mah Vietnam udah tidak terbendung sih, fix. Meanwhile, King Indo terjerembab di papan tengah menuju ke bawah. Setiap map selalu dapat kill sih, cuman culun sekali. Mati karena grenade. Pasti dapat kill, cuman selalu kejepit cuy mainnya itu. Tadi match keberapa ya? Kejepitnya langsung sama Vietnam, anjing. Susah, terus kejepit terus kena third party gitu-gitu, aduh. Susah sih. Vietnam nih stratnya bagus banget. Kapan rotasi, kapan agresif, dan mereka selalu kayak dari awal tuh bisa agresif tuh. Ini early game aja udah 3 kill, cuy. Tapi nanti bisa peringkat top 4 gitu. Aneh. Nggak ngerti sih nih orang-orang nih pada makannya apa. Cir. Hampir 50-50 itu. Iya cuy, kalau masalah aim mah kayaknya sama-sama aja dah semua. Tapi Norway konsisten badut cuy, anjing. Tadi UK juga badut. So-soan mau mereka masang 2 C4 ke satu mobil. Masalahnya yang masang nih satu orang. Kan C4 lama banget ya masangnya. Udah dipasang 2, set, lagi dijalanin bentar, terus dia turun kabur, nggak sampai, anjing. Badut momen. Anjing, spray AUK loh, jarak segitu loh, bisa langsung kill loh, langsung deleted cuy. Jauh sini Vietnam, anjir, jauh bro. Cimoy kita saksikan. Spray dia masuk, iya cuk, itu dia. Kalau kita kan spray kepanikan ya. Gila sih orang-orang ini. Depannya siapa tuh? Argentina, oke. Korea nih yang terjerembab nih anjir. Di depan publiknya sendiri padahal. Under pressure mereka. Oke, Indo Thailand, let's go. Tapi ini mereka under pressure juga, satu dan knock. Tapi masalahnya ke third party lagi. Tadi Argentinanya juga deket kan. Australia cuk, melempem cuk. Padahal ada pemain favorit gue.
yeah, and Ten's going to do the same. Keep the tires safe. Give yourself an exit strategy.
Circle is going to post, and yeah, that's expected here. As it's going to cut off pretty much everything.
Vietnamnya masih jauh. Kebegal Korea nih.
You're going to have to deal with Vietnam, and you're going to have to deal with a lot more once you actually try to get into the circle because Brazil has
Nih bahaya banget third partinya, Cuk. Anjing, begitu ada keributan langsung datang ke situ semua.
Just to the north of them, you've got China in a fantastic position. Oh, jeeps. He's still great. He's still so good. Xavier gonna crash and Ten's flying towards Leo. Dell was I'm not fan of that. Dell with Vietnam getting the knock. Vietnam are crashing Korea here in Garden.
Korea, can they really be the heroes? Can they truly stop Vietnam's just domination of this lobby? It doesn't look like it. Salute
Gila.
will go down, Cuban will go down. And China is
Koreanya loh yang mati anjing. Padahal mereka yang ngebegal loh.
Tidal wave going through this lobby at times. They're fighting.
Timingnya loh.
They are just
Gila.
annihilating everybody. They're barely taking knocks. The only knock I can even think they sustained was the bolt they shot right back at Primo. Trailing balls to Tandu.
Pecah, Cuk.
That one up. And it is
Satu gunfight tiba-tiba ricuh terus. Iya.
and USA have used this gun.
Vietnam gila sih.
that's actually perfect. It's just crazy because
Nih, mereka di luar circle banget ya. Tahu-tahu bisa 4 besar nih nanti nih. Magic, bro.
James, look at that. James with a C4. He'll get himself a knock. Mal Rush will clean that one up, and Norway will be hoping they can get him back on his
Norway masih dengan C4 stratnya yang tidak berhasil anjing.
hurt off for a reposition. But
Nih, dapat 2 lagi nih. Nih.
it's just crazy. I mean, I'm sure they heard the vehicle, but they're just ready for everything. Nothing works against this team.
yeah, the nades are going to get tossed up. Tandu will chase the nade around the corner.
Wah, anjing, kena. Apakah bisa US malah membalikkan keadaan? Kena juga Scrimsy. Nggak mati.
Elwood takes damage. This could be an opportunity for
Kena balik Scrimsy.
It literally takes a village just to deal with this team. Vietnam
Gila, itu udah di third party berapa?
Dell winning him out.
yeah, it's not done yet. So
Gila,
potential retreat from him as the blue zone
kacau ini. Harus di nerf, Cuk. Vietnam, Cuk.
will pop a first aid, but it's not just the blue zone nade, it's the actual blue zone that USA need to start worrying about.
Anjing.
Seoul looking to hold back any retreat as Norway do go down thanks to a multiple of Chinese Taipei and Germany. And Seoul
Kena Himas.
in the crowd love that one. But
Wah, anjing.
it's just nasty as he wipes them out.
That was, I need to take a shower. That was a gross angle to take
Aneh.
to win that gunfight.
Aneh.
Now gonna drag him ass out, and of course he's gonna get the res. Because why wouldn't he?
Aneh. Koreanya yang ke wipe, Cuk.
Unbelievable.
Anjing.
Germany, though, they have a great position in the circle. China, slap bang in the center of the zone. Germany, if they wanted, can take the top of Vesuvius because it is basically free for them. You know, some people like to call it volcano. I sometimes call it Vesuvius, but they want to take this spot if they want. Because look at how much space there is, and China at some point will look to extend out there.
You know, you say that, Gibson, but after watching them take all the space in that game on Tego and kind of throwing it, I don't know. I hope they're able to do what they're supposed to, but we'll see. It's
Masih kena loh.
Purdy and USA. A flash. Oh,
Anjing.
Another player
Masih kena loh.
by Delwyn, though. He's just so good at
Gila.
of course, will find kickstart.
Kill 9, Cuk.
they needed it. If there's
Bangke.
positives to take for that, at least China got one of the kills.
Ayo dong King Indo, lakukan sesuatu King Indo.
Look at the bright side sometimes.
I'm running out of superlatives to say about Vietnam at this point. I mean, they're just them.
Ayo King Indo. Aduh, ketemu itu anjir.
Borrow.
I don't have many left as we see Argentina now try to hold back
1 HP tadi.
It's happening just on the northeast edge. As you can see, Argentina actually got in front here. Pretty impressive.
Wah, anjing granatnya, Cok. Bangsat, udah kelar. Nah, dari tadi cuman kayak gini doang nih. Diem di awal, begitu gerak langsung kejepit anjing.
Look to deal with it, Denise, because if you do, it means that you can fully focus on the center of the circle. Himas will fall to the blue. Delwyn
Anjing.
likely will follow him out the gate. So, you know, it goes through maybe the only way to deal with Vietnam is PUBG itself with the blue zone. It's got a couple of bandit
Vietnam nggak top 4 cuk. Oke. Tapi tetap dapat 10 poin itu. 9 lah.
Here come Thailand though, crashing onto Argentina, Godspeed.
Yeah, they are crashing down indeed. Force position was great for the time being, but now need to get onto Argentina's case, and the onus is on Argentina to win this fight. They need to. Thailand really being the aggressor, putting a lot.
Cimoy, oke.
It's gonna be Poland.
Tadi ke wipe tapi
Face off here or there. Believe they did get a
kita lihat Cimoy bisa melakukan apa di sini.
Got that kill confirmed. Indonesia have now been eliminated, and Thailand and Argentina
Dah, kelar langsung.
focus on each other.
Dah cuman kayak gitu-gitu dong dari tadi.
Raise it down on the
1 kill, 1 kill, 2 kill.
They're now playing for the late game. Back off this fight, take control of Forest. Argentina, they want to get a res of their own on the draft king. And China's Zhao Wu, he's just looking to do some damage, but they have essentially not had to do anything. So up no to this
Cinanya
game.
kuat banget
And
di
they're
tengah gitu,
probably
anjir.
gonna get a good shift this time around, because why wouldn't they? And they do. And this is worst case scenario for Poland, Argentina, and Thailand.
China really in the driver's seat
Mm.
here. They have so many players ahead of them to the north that they can potentially take down or help take down and really just cripple the efforts. We'll see Argentina's Emmy is going around. He's got to find a knock. It's just him and Capitan, but he keeps just getting pushed back. You got to commit to something.
Germany putting shots in, China the same. Thailand all stuck inside as the mortar strikes will land just a little bit further away. Emmy though with a
Nice.
good knock onto Jacob. Fluky's going to expect the repeat with a good stun grenade. Buys himself a little bit of time. He's got a gas can. No intent to get inside the building. Good
Anjing. Oh, ngelempar gas can terus ditembak ya.
to toss the gas can in the door.
Cina masih kuat nih.
Yeah, it's just the
Di tengah circle tuh mereka.
that broken door. He needed to be quick. So nades are going to come out. And he's just going to clean that one up. Kiss does. So the two members of Thailand will survive.
Oke, Thailand on top.
Go. I mean, they're
Tapi semuanya akan gerak ke Cina, bro.
run of doom essentially.
Yeah, Germany will regroup as well. Now they will start to take up on top of Volcano. Poland will clown Kara. Look at how low the health is in this UAS as well. This is a Hail Mary attempt from Poland to get to that dip, to give themselves something to play.
Oh, they're just going to go past it then. Let's just go for it. Why not? They might as well. Xleft is going to find one out of the spray, but at least the others make landfall.
Yeah, but for how long? For how long? Blow up that vehicle and you'll blow up the Poles. Masters will try to do it. Ming Ming and down go Poland. But again, inside the top placement point, it's been a massive revival for Poland on day 2.
Much better day. They find themselves now in 12th. Considering where they started, you can take that. As Germany now with an opportunity once again, a lot of space. In fact, they have the majority of space in the circle.
Little graphic there, but it's Chris as well. 516 damage in this game. He's played 79 maps in PNC, and he's averaged over 216 damage. That is not an easy number to keep at, especially that
Mengantarkan loot ke musuh. Ya gitulah. Pola Norway itu dari kemarin konsisten badut itu.
Finds not only the kills, but also the knocks, stealing the kills, scouting. He's that person. He's that absolute information hub for his team.
Yeah, look at this Fluky. He's in the blue. He's just matting it out to see if maybe he can outlive some teams.
152 cuk Vietnam anjing.
We're at that point now.
Satu map yang mereka mainnya jelek aja nambahnya 9.
For Germany not too far behind. So just stay there. Maybe outlive somebody. Maybe Dopey could fall and you get that extra place. But let's not forget Denmark still in the circle. He didn't get to bring his teammates back. I don't think Brazil have
Anjing.
that Doppy is there. China have gotten a massive shift, but Doppy could ruin Brazil's game.
Circle-nya ke Cina loh. Anjir.
That's a huge loss as we can see Germany now starting to flex, and I think they suspect that their south is about to get encroached upon. And look at, I mean, just look at the angles here for China and for Xleft. So much control now has been shifted over towards them because of this, and now Germany finds itself on the back foot.
Yeah, Brazil are trying to create some cover for themselves as they want to make certain shoots in.
Ini harusnya Brazilnya ketemu Jerman dulu. Harusnya ya. Cina menang sih harusnya nih.
Dopey.
I think did China see Dofi?
I don't think so.
No, they didn't.
Lah, masih ada ini.
Sure they get that knock.
Iya, cuk.
DELL. Looking at his position.
Anjir.
I think he should be able to crawl
Oh itu dari wah anjing. Tinggal ngontrol doang cuk, pakai mortar cuk, late game bangke. What? Cuk. Mortar hit 2 cuk, late game. Bangsat gila. Anjing jago banget. Jago banget. Anjing itu udah kayak operator mortar beneran cuk. Fuck man. Cina ngepush cuk anjing. Ngepush cuk anjing biar anjing. Ya udah kelar. Dah. Dah. Cing. GG. Itu mortarnya game changing sih. Fuck. Kacau. Kacau itu mortar, bro. Granat-granatnya anjing. Gila, bro. Oke lah. Meng, gua mainin akun lu dulu ya, follow ya. Kita naikkan dia ke gold dulu ya kan. Kita bantu saudara kita Bapak Linmeng ini untuk mendapatkan kembali mahkotanya. Meskipun nanti kalau di gold dia sendiri yang pusing juga. Deng tenonenen tenonenonenono tenonene tenonenenene. Lah, kok kursornya nggak kelihatan, jir? What the fuck? Kursornya nggak kelihatan. Lah ini ada King iPhone. King iPhone langsung kita invite aja. Invite. Oh, lah. Mau dia King iPhone ini. Kok gua nggak bisa ini tapi anjir. King iPhone langsung kita gaskan. Tanpa basa-basi, King iPhone.
Match found.
Fucking heaven. Lah, tapi nanti kalau sampai in game tetap kayak gini gimana ya? Bentar ya, kalau sampai in game kayak gini sih agak bingung ya. Atau kita Alt F4 dulu. Aneh banget, di sininya kelihatan loh padahal. Coba atau Alt F4 dulu deh. Bentar bos, saya langsung masuk lagi bos, tenang bos. Harusnya sih belum masuk ya. Lah, kok jadi Q dodge? Wah, aneh. Bentar. Bentar, bang. Kursor gua hilang. Kenapa ya? Kenapa ya kursornya hilang ya? Valorant kenapa kursor hilang padahal di OBS kelihatan? Full screen mode. Windows atau display full screen. Oke. Nah, itu tadi kelihatan, Cuk. Aneh. Full screen, Windows full screen. Nah, ini udah benar. Oke. Ah.
My ultimate's ready.
Konglet anjir. Konglet anjir. Hei, kamu kenapa anjir? Kalau di full screen ini jadi nggak kelihatan. Nggak bener. Nggak bener. Nggak bener. Oh, ada update inian, Cuk. Bentar, update driver 3 menit. Tiba-tiba taking. Wah, ini mah anjing. Ih, patah-patah banget. Shit. Ntar ya guys, update driver dulu ya. Install lah bro. Express gas langsung. Anehnya gitu driver VGA tuh kok. Tadinya padahal biasa apa nggak ada masalah. Ada driver baru terus jadi ada masalah. Aneh. Aneh banget kamu. Kenapa kayak gitu? Lama kali installnya.